Yeah, yeah. You know what time it is. Ooh, it's Friday, Friday, Friday. Ooh, how's everybody doing? How was your week? Do you guys have to work weekends or is it over for you? What do you guys do for a living? I know some of you told me. I know we had like a prison guy that works in a prison or something. We had some stay-at-home moms. I don't know. Well, I hope you guys are off for the weekend and we could kick it off together tonight. Just have our usual hang. You know, I don't want to have anything super dramatic. I know there's a lot of talk going around in the scene and everything today, and I'm not really prepared to make any heavy duty statements about it. I mean, if I see a question I feel like answering, I will. And of course, I'll say hello to you guys tonight and welcome you to my house. As you can see, I'm living here. I bought a downtown Manhattan apartment here that's pretty nice, and I wanted to invite you guys over. Scott Johnson, 2 minutes. Oh, I guess you were super early. Anarchist or vampire thing equals stupid. Well, you don't have to watch it, buddy. What's stupid about it, though, really? Like, what don't you like about it? That it's not music, or... I mean, I'm always open to constructive criticism. I can tell you that Dahlia Dark and I work really hard on those bits, and we feel it's a pretty original show on Tuesday nights for people who just want to watch a comedy. It's not meant to be serious. It's actually listed as a legit comedy. This show here, when I put it up, I put it as people and blogs, which isn't necessarily a comedy. I, of course, have funny stories and stuff. But I play myself here. So when I speak things on my show, I'm speaking the truth and I'm speaking from my heart. When we do the Fright Bite, that's a pretend time, just goofy, for people who do like vampire aesthetics and do like beautiful goddesses like Dahlia Dark. I mean, if you don't like goddesses, I could see where you wouldn't be into a show like that. And that's okay. I don't care. I don't need the whole planet to like everything I do. As long as there are people that do show up, we'll keep doing it and we're having a great time. And the people that do come, they do have a great time. And I'll tell you, tonight, I'm not really in the mood to deal with people that try to get in the way of my show. Usually I'm pretty easygoing and play along, but I'm just not in the mood. I mean, I've worked hard the last, what is it, 3 months just to be honest with you guys and let you know who I am as a person and do my own thing. You know what I mean? There's other bands I play in besides Stevens. I do still play in Pearcy's band, and April the shows start back up, and I do plan to take some video while I'm out there or whatever. But there's other bands too. Pump Five, the project I have videos coming out with. I do my own music. Of course, got Stephen Pearcy's new record we're working on. We have all kinds of awesome guests that are going to be on there that are going to blow your mind. So this is a great year for me, and it's going to be a really bad year for a few other people. And I know that there's fans of theirs that are disappointed in that, and they want to point the finger at someone that's not those guys, but it's those guys. It's their mouths that got them fired. Okay, it's not my words that got them fired, it's their words that got them fired. So if you're going to be upset at anyone, you should be upset at the hosts of those shows, because to come here and give me a hard time after serving 25 years as Stephen Pearcy's guitar player, I'm like all out of F's, if you know what I mean. I don't care. I don't care who you think's a good guitar player or not a good guitar player. I've been there for 25 years and I'm still there. And if someone isn't there, that means they weren't the right person for the job. That's all you need to know. I mean, I want to have a good time tonight, but don't mistake my kindness for weakness, all right?
Sexy times.
Now, let me get back to my pals. Okay. Who do we got here? I already said hi to Scott tonight. Let me, who's this? T-Cuz, bruh. All right, all right, all right. Hell yeah. Always stoked to have T-Cuz here. I appreciate those of you that support me, that keep coming back to the show and say good things about me. And I know I saw a couple of you defending me here and there, and I appreciate that. I do. I can tell you there's there's a small group of like burner accounts. If you look at bad comments that are out there on me about this situation and topic, one thing I want you guys to notice is they're all burner accounts. They're not actual people that have their name or are proud of who they are or have an actual YouTube channel that has content. When you look a little further, you can see that they're just cowards, or they're not who they might even be the person that caused all this mess. You never know. I don't know, but I think it's suspect. Have you guys watched any of the videos from Sights, Sounds, and Flavors? Like this guy might be my soul brother that I never knew I had. If I ever make it to Kentucky, I'm gonna have to buy this gentleman a Guinness or something like that. He's been blowing my mind with his commentary on all the drama that's going on with the band and our ex, not even employees, really, just contracted guys that are no longer contracted with us. But go check out his site. I have to send you guys over there. It's at Sights, Sounds, Flavors, and he does a little of everything. He does music, food, travel. He's got an assortment of stuff, but he's also a lawyer in downtown Kentucky, apparently. And so he has very interesting insights into threats that have been made, not by our camp, but just others, and just the validity of those threats. And I just thought it was fascinating that he just popped up right then. And I've been, probably as fascinated as you guys to see his insights. He's got some wonderful insights. And sir, you're definitely on the right track with your magnifying glass. And you could probably say a lot more about this than I can as a current member of Stephen Pearcy's band. Our reputation, Stephen's reputation, is always comes first with me. And so, with that said, I appreciate what you're doing, and please don't let the story go. It is an important one. We're moving forward as far as our camp. Really excited about the new Stephen Pearcy record that's coming out. Excited to be doing some shows. You're going to see some new faces with the band as well. So there's interesting things coming your way. As I said, it's not till the end of April that I'm going to be playing with them. I'm not posting any more. I had more tour videos with the old lineup. No more of those are going up. I don't even want to deal with that. If you see anything else, it'll be from April going forward. Until then, I'm here every Friday night to hang out with you guys. If you want to ask me questions about the 25 years that I played for Steven, all the crazy shows we've done and bands we played with, you want to hear that kind of stuff, just ask me in the chat and I'll get to your question and I'll answer it to the best of my recognition, or whatever I could recall. My recollection, that's what I meant to say. I'll answer it to the best of my recollection. Excuse me. But anyways, people are already giving me money tonight? What's up? Jay Lee, thank you, sir. $10. Did you have anything to say? No, he's just like, here, take my money. Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Very nice, very nice. Let's see, Skojo, evening, Eric and everyone. Yes, yes. And David Carrasco, 666. Hello all, what a week. Yeah, I mean, I realize things are nuts right now, and we're all just kind of taking it in. That's all I can say. I'm not here to break any TMZ news tonight, if that's why you're here. It's time for Unleashed. What up, Eric? Holla at your boy. Well, is it okay if I holler with my boy David Lee Roth? All right, son of a bitch. That's not David Lee Roth. This is David Lee Roth. You want to hear some David Lee Roth, you rotten son of a bitch?
Sexy times.
It's sexy times, guys. Come on, that's how we roll here. All right. Come on, dude. Really? WTF? Yeah, exactly. Led Zeppelin remains the same. We get it. Of course you get it. I mean, we're responsible for our words. I mean, if I do some kind of documentary on all this drama for my own channel at some point, at that point I'll be able to take my time to word everything correctly and not misspeak. You know what I mean? It's like, this isn't really live in this situation with things as crazy as they are right now. It's not really the time for me to get too in depth about it. But if I see a question or somewhere that makes me want to answer like just that aspect of it, I will. Let's see here. People who diss rap plain suck. Yeah, I did want to make mention of that in my Facebook post. I had asked Rat specifically. I asked Rat fans and Stephen Pearcy fans to unsub from that channel, and you know which one I mean. And I didn't ask for any other person's fans or anybody else who's fans that's not our fans, but because of what was happening to our team and what we were going through, uh, I just felt that if you were actually fans of ours, you wouldn't want to subscribe to someone that was hurting us in that way or exploiting us in any type of way. That as fans of Stevens, who has been giving you amazing music for 40 years, that you would just take our word for it that, hey, we take care of our family and our people here, and our fans are important to us, and we don't want any of you guys to be in any kind of danger or um, have anything weird going on here. We just wanted to be transparent with you that you're our people, and let's get you away from that. Any his own people that are outside of that Wednesday 13, any of those people, that's his problem. That's not my problem. And I just that's a few serious things I just want to make clear. And when it came to sights, sounds, and flavors, one thing, sir, that you brought up, we have never signed any release forms or anything like that in regards to any tour videos that were put out. Whatever verbal thing maybe Steven had going on, I'm not aware of what those details were. I know that I myself asked not to be on that show years ago, and that was not, respected. So just from a legal standpoint, no, no, there's no. This was just fraudulent the way it was being presented and shown to you guys as being okay with us. And also in regards to us trying to get our videos down, this has been going on. This is a battle that's been going on for a long time. And when that person's thumbing their nose at us, like, I'm not taking these down, I'm going to put them behind a paywall, and I'm going to make fun of all you guys every day. And you could pay a membership and listen to me talk crap every day. That is the most unprofessional thing I've ever heard in my life. Steven owns his own trademark and his image. And to think that you would get away with something like that is ridiculous. So those videos are finally down, and we're thankful. We don't want any association in that department. And as I said, we don't care what you guys watch or go do outside of that. We just want to make sure our people and our fans are protected. Okay, Scott M, you're good, sir. That it's got an apostrophe. It's Y-O apostrophe R. It's okay. I make that mistake quite often. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a grammar Nazi. David Carrasco's got a middle finger for all the haters. There's not a lot of haters, guys. I could probably count them on my two hands, and I think half of them are the same person, to be honest. Um, Dom Gam, you always look distant in Jason Green's videos. Yeah, because I wasn't supposed to be in them. Um, you know. Let me see. Hard Rockin' Trivia Show. Hit the like button, people. Hey, that's always good. I like the like button when it gets hit. Now here's a guy I really do like. His name's Tim Lloyd, and he likes to 69 apparently. But hey, people. Yeah, he's like my Dallas homeboy. Like, if I'm ever in Dallas, I know that Tim will be there to hang out with me, and it's been that way for probably 20 years. And that's one cool thing about being in a band. When you do the circuit every year, you have friends in those locations that you're going to get to see, that you only get to see when you're out playing, and they're super excited that you're out there and you're happy to see them too. It's like, it's weird because sometimes here where I live, I don't really have a lot of friends that I don't really leave my place, to be honest. And but it's not true that I don't have friends. I have friends all over the world, but I'm just not physically with them. I mean, it's cool that we communicate. We get to see each other's posts on social media. This thing, even though initially when I started doing these live Friday nights, it's because I thought people didn't really know who I was or what I was about, and I wanted to give you guys a chance to talk to me before you judged me. And I think it paid off. I think you guys have gotten used to like coming here and just being kind of a community, and that was my goal, was to like bring you guys together. I'm kind of a hippie in that way when it comes to music. I feel like music's such a powerful tool to bring people together for a positive thing. And there's too much crap in the world, and this is supposed to be a break from that. And so I don't spew hate here. I mean, I joke about stuff. I'll joke about stuff tonight in my life and whatever, but it's not at anybody we know's expense or something like that. Let me see here. Johnny Ponder, when will the Pearcy solo material be out? I have a feeling he's gonna like release a song probably before the rest of it, kind of deal. The first song that he's kind of got together is one of his songs. I did play on it, but it has like a bunch of people playing on it. But it's his song called Drive, and he did put a snippet on this past week. I don't know if you guys caught that. But as I've said on many shows, Steven plays guitar. He's written some of the early Mickey Ratt and Ratt stuff. If you're friends with Steven on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, he's always got his guitar out. He doesn't give a crap. He just plays live, pulls out his Flying V or whatever, and has at it. And he's had some of these ideas for some time. He's been playing some of these songs. We finally, Blossom Matt came in and helped him put it together. I was up there probably like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or something. And, he kind of showed me what he was doing, and I kind of reinforced what he had, put my schmutz on top of it a little bit. And it sounds cool. And, there's another half of the record of my songs there. There's even more stuff that I haven't, that I still need to bring up there. I mean, we might get 2 records knocked out in this time. I mean, now's the time to do it, while we have all these tunes. Led Zeppelin remains the same. We want the truth. Can you handle the truth? Led Zeppelin remains the same. I don't think you can. I don't think you can. Oh, my Lord. Go easy on my guys. I don't really have a moderator or anything. Hard Rock and Trivia Show. That dude from Louisville, how's your back? Yeah, dude. It's kind of funny because it's like one thing. One thing that Jason always would do is he would body shame and bald bash was his whole thing. Like, but he was always careful. He had his lawyer girlfriend. He was always careful not to say my name, which is stupid because you knew who he was talking about. All you guys knew who he was talking about, I think. But now that we have people like the hair metal guru, you got Billy Corgan. He's spouting so much crap that nobody really knew exactly who he's talking about, because that's how toxic it is. It's like it's offended so many people. It's like, hey, are you talking about Stevie Rochelle? It's like, but now all of a sudden, like all these baldinos are like coming together and beating his ass and putting out all these videos. And to me, that's hilarious. That's like poetic justice. It's like, we're all these people doing podcasting. We're all in our 50s. We're not supposed to have like, 18-year-old mains going on. We're old. I'm 53. I mean, I think I look great for 53. I mean, I know I have a goofy hairdo, but I've always had a goofy hairdo. It's not like you exposed me or something. I mean, you could go back to look up the 13A video, No Digital, No Machine, when I was in like a hardcore screamo kind of band in the 90s. We won the Miller Genuine Draft Battle of the Bands. I had a mohawk then. I mean, that was 30 years ago. I mean, this is just who I am. I'm not changing it to for a guy who's not attracted to me because of my hairdo. I don't give a crap. You know what I mean? I'm just playing the hand that God dealt me. Have I gone through fluctuating weight periods? Yes. For whatever reason, stress or just bad food on the road. I'm taking the best care of myself I ever have. Do I look like a fat guy right now? Do I? Huh? No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not. I mean, I lost 25 pounds. I mean, I go to the gym every day. So as far as like, yes, did I have a heart attack some years back? Yes, but they fixed it. They put the stents in there, and I go out and burn like 800. After this show tonight, I'll go hit that gym and burn 800 calories. I'll go like, 6 miles or something like that. So I could still beat some ass if necessary. You know what I'm saying? Tim Lloyd, yo Scotty. All right, Kevin Smith, Erik Ferentinos, DLR, scream me, buddy. Yes sir, here you go. Yeah, buddy.
Hey, bud, let's party.
All right. Mickey Hernandez, what's up, Mickey? What up, EF? You're the best, my brother Mickey. Yeah. Yeah, he's Mickey's always done music. He's been to my old butthole apartment. Remember I said I used to live in a butthole? He's been to that butthole back when I like, it didn't even have a balcony or anything, and I used to smoke cigarettes, and it was pretty nasty. But him and his band would like show up there, and like I would kind of produce songs for the band. So he's kind of seen a little bit of my journey in the last however many years. God, I want to say like 8 years or something. And he's seen me, just my career kind of move up. And, now I'm at the beach and I'm doing all this cool shit. I don't even know how it works, man. Like my, my destiny's in the hands of the universe. I don't have a day job right now. I mean, the last Pearcy show I played was in September of 2025, but somehow people are hiring me to play on their stuff and be in their videos and like, uh, record music with them. And I appreciate all those people because I love doing all kinds of different stuff. After 25 years of playing the Rat songs, I still love it and I still do it. I will always, when he calls me, I'll always be right there. But it's nice to do other music too and write songs with some other people. And I think it's super awesome that Steven and Warren are playing together. Like I got goosebumps when I saw that. When they came out and hit the stage the first time, I was like, "Oh my God." I mean, we loved Warren and George and all that. You guys know that. I've said that many times. And Carlos Cavazo. I saw a comment that was a little offensive on sights, sounds, and flavors. I think it was his, or it was the Gurus. I'm not sure, but somebody said I suck so bad on guitar. Just watch the Hollywood video where Carlos Cavazo comes up and I hand him my guitar. And that's not exactly how things happen. It was a Pearcy show, and Pearcy had some people come up at the end of the night to sing. And initially, Jason said Carlos wasn't going to be there. I was very concerned to have a whole setup for Carlos at soundcheck, and Jason said he wasn't going to be there. And then he ended up showing up, and for some reason, I don't know if Jason told him to or not. I don't know, but he had his guitar. He showed up with a guitar tuned to 440, and I don't know why he did. Rat's always played half step down, but he basically sent him out on stage with no guitar. And my other guitar I had was like set. I had like two Charvels. One was half step down. The other one was like for the drop D stuff. And we were about to play a song that was in standard. So out of respect, I didn't want to have to go, "Oh, well, sorry, bro, if you don't have your guitar, but I'm going to be up here." It's like he, he's a legend. You know what I mean? Of course, I took my guitar off and handed it to the guy. I mean, my mom's got like a VHS tape of me at 15 years old making all my high school friends do air bands to Quiet Riot Mental Health. You know what I mean? You think I'm gonna like send him back up to the backstage like a jabroni so I could sit there and play the song? I thought it was amazing. He came up. Of course, I handed him my guitar. It wasn't like, "Oh, whatever." It had anything to do with anything besides me just being respectful to the guys. So some of these comments I see have nothing to do with Jason or why he was let go or Johnny or any of those things. It has nothing to do with that. Bashing me does not change anything that those guys did. You're taking it out on the wrong person. That's all I have to say in regards to that. And I know I sound a little snippy tonight, but when all of a sudden I'm under a microscope that I didn't ask, necessarily to be under. I realize I did bring that on myself making that post, but you guys have to know that somebody had to do something to protect us, because no one was aware that that had even happened or what we were going through on our end. And we had to do hey, Mayday, we got a rap problem to our fans. And that's who it was directed to. I didn't take out a billboard. I didn't like take out an ad in the newspaper. This was a post on my Facebook for our people, because most of the old folks that listen to Rat are on my Facebook, and that's who it was directed towards. 80,000 views on that post, by the way, guys. When is the album out? The album, I don't know. I have to ask Steven that. Let me see here. I'm going to have fun just like kicking people out of here tonight. I can tell. You're mad at the wrong person. Johnny Ponder. He made me feel rushed at Beaver Dam last year. I don't know what that means. Okay. Jay Lee, I'm not a female. Yeah, all this time I thought, I didn't realize. I totally know Jay. I totally know Jay. But for some reason it just sounded, I thought that was gross. Every time he's come on, I'm like, "Hey, Jay Lee, hey, girl." What's that? And it's not. But he took it well, and I'll never make that mistake again. I'm sorry, sir. Okay, Captain Photos. Going to miss all the tour divers. It sucks this happened. Well, currently, if you go to my, I have some. I mean, I have probably like 22 up there from the last like year or two. But as I said, I mean, if you like seeing Stephen Pearcy behind the scenes kind of stuff, I will be continuing to do that on the shows that I'm at. So it's not like you're never going to see him again. Am I going to be filming everybody while they're trying to eat their dinner? No. You know what I mean? Typically, I'm just, show a little the sound check, maybe a little if people are aware they're being filmed, like, hey, say what up, I enjoy actually putting in some of the live show. I mean, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Sure, you see a little bit of the getting there, but I think the important thing is to see us in our moment. You know what I mean? Of what it's all built up to, all that traveling, all that preparation that goes in to the show. Like you have to see some of the show, and that's important. And I like it from from the audience perspective. So when you guys film out there, I might steal your video to put in there at some point. You never know, but there will be more of that stuff. When is it going to be? Not till April. But until then, I'll be here every Friday hanging out. I might put some clips or put some cool stuff up between that then. And there's the Fright Bite. And the Fright Bite's funny. I don't care what you say. Let me see. Led Zeppelin is saying Wednesday 13, always on his show. Boring. You know what? I'm not out to bash Wednesday. I met him years ago when he was cool to me at like a Pearcy show. I respect anybody who's out there that on their own, like that he put a band out that's actually able to go all around the world and play. That gets my respect. Okay, that is not, you know how hard that is? I mean, I realize he's from the Murder Dolls, and even that band would have been difficult to get it to where it was. But any musician always gets my respect if they're out playing, period. You're never going to hear me say something negative about somebody who's actually out there doing it. I know he's very successful with his like merchandising and things like that. I'm happy for him. You know what I mean? As far as like his performances, I think he looks cool as F, up there. You know what I mean? It's like that Marilyn Manson kind of vibe. I mean, he puts a lot of work into that aesthetic. You know what I mean? I'm totally cool with all that. I don't listen to it. I mean, I kind of feel like that's a younger audience. You know what I mean? Again, I'm like 53. At this point in my life, I'm more apt to like go for some yacht rock or something. Like I almost can't listen to like stuff that gets me angry like I used to when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, it's all about rebellion and getting your testosterone going and whatever. When you're 53, you're just trying to keep your blood pressure down, and you have like, you have like medication you're taking and stuff. So like it's kind of off my radar. I totally know who he is, and I've seen his stuff. But you'll never hear me say something negative about somebody like that. How you guys feel about it is your own opinions. Everybody's entitled to those, but I have a responsibility as a musician, as a podcaster. It's never in my interest to speak ill of other people that are out there trying to earn a living and doing their best to take their gifts that they were given musically or artistically or whatever and express themselves. I mean, not only do I play music, but I do feel like I'm a creative, if you will. I don't want to say an artist, you know what I mean? I can't really draw that good or whatever, but I do like to make stuff. I like to come up with ideas, create things, and I enjoy photography. I enjoy cinematography. So I like doing all of it, and I'm doing it, and nobody said you had to be here. You know what I mean? My site's doing really well. I know some people made some comparisons, but I've only been doing this site for like probably about 4 months. I did initially make this YouTube site 10 years ago. It was called mickeyratmadness.tv, but somebody went out of their way to get me shut down. And if you could just guess who that was, somebody who didn't like competition, and made the boss tell me to make some changes. So the change that I decided to make was one that no one could do anything about, and that's to call it Erik Ferentinos. And because I was pissed off, it's called Unleashed, and that's what it's remained. And it could turn into anything at this point. It can go anywhere. But as of right now, it's a variety of things. And it's just you being a part of my life, and I do have a pretty cool life. If it interests you, I appreciate the follow. I appreciate the like button. I appreciate people that donate, of course, to here. Like my super carrot, Marsha B. What's up, lady? Let's bring it back to what it's all about. Music. What was your favorite Stephen Pearcy solo album? Well, I'm sure I can only guess, but I have three of them here. This was the first album I remember doing with Stephen Pearcy, and it has some cool people like Tracy Guns, and it has George Lynch on it. We're doing like Mickey Ratt songs. We're doing some Ratt covers. This was a long. I was only in the band for probably like a year or two, and we did this for Cleopatra. It's got Round and Round, You Think You're Tough, You Got It, Sweet Cheater, Lack of Communication, Lay It Down, You're in Love, Back for More, I'm Insane, Dr. Rock, Driving on E, and Top Secret. Lead guitar by George Lynch, lead guitar by Tracy Guns, and then I do all the rhythm guitars. And see, Troy and Todd were the bass player and drummer on that session, and we literally did like all these songs in like one day, and then the other guys came in, George, and did solos on it. Uh, that was the first album I guess I had done. It was of covers. Steven was putting out some solo records like Social Intercourse and stuff around that time. On the European versions, he had put a couple songs of mine on there, but God, he had some other ones. What was Under My Skin had a couple of my songs, but again, these were like not high budget versions. These were like smaller record deals in the early 2000s when, rock wasn't happening all that much. It was still like a new metal period. It was still Linkin Park. It was still Limp Bizkit time. You know what I mean? I feel like it wasn't until closer to like 2007 that things started to kind of pick up again for the 80s bands. The biggest records I've done with Steven would be the Frontiers ones, which Smash. This was 2015. What was interesting around this time is the whole Bobby Blotzer thing with Jason was going on, and that's a whole story in itself. And I know a lot of you guys followed that, but it's interesting that Jason's name doesn't come up with that a lot because he supplied Bobby with the whole band for that. He managed the whole operation. He's very good at coming off like a victim. Like Bobby Blotzer was chasing him around naked for all the time. Well, he must have liked it because he let him chase him around for 2.5 years, committing fraud with that. And they did not own the name, and that was proven later. And I don't know how he finally, what his involvement was with the name or however he turncoated on Bobby or whatever and ended up in our camp. I'm not sure. I was leery, of that, but he came off like he was so victimized in the whole thing. I think he kind of scooched by. But I noticed when people make videos about that whole ordeal, they tend to leave him out. And he was kind of the serpent in the garden that had the apple. Hey, Bobby, listen, take a bite. We could make you the big star. Look, I got the whole gang. I'll manage the whole thing. You know what I mean? It's like, I think he escaped. And it's important to know like what he did to Bobby in the years that followed, even though Bob made a mistake. I'm not taking away from that, but the way that he went about going on a whole, campaign to ruin Bobby after that is telling of what would come later in business relationships. And I feel like he was about to try to do that again, especially when it came to refusing to take those videos down that he did not have a right, no release forms to do or anything, thumbing his nose at us. It was too much, man. And honestly, for the fans of the show that thought any of this was cool or okay or was buying any of his BS, I feel sorry for you. And any of you could have at any time asked us how we felt about things. And a couple of you didn't. You just turncoated on us. It's unfortunate. View to a Thrill. Also, these two albums too, by the way, guys, I wrote all these and performed all the guitars. There's no other guitarist on here except this one has Robbie Krieger. He was in a band you might have heard of called The Doors, right? Anyways, I digress. But yeah, solo records. I don't know. What is your favorite Stephen Pearcy solo record? And Arcade counts and Vertex counts and all that. Nitronic. I don't know if they did a record. Hard Rock and Trivia Show. Same Aiken is only doing CMS now. Thank God, right? I mean, the CMS rules. I think that is the better show for Chris because then he could really be himself and be the unfiltered guy that he is. He's a very honest man as well as Neely. You know what I mean? And the CMS, they used to have their own servers for that. I mean, navigating the whole YouTube, the CMS going on YouTube, that didn't last long. They ended up, the show got banned. They talked about whatever. After COVID, it was very tricky doing YouTube stuff. Like there was so much medical information stuff going on where they were kicking channels off just for speaking about things or commentary. It was ridiculous. It's gotten a little better from that. The CMS moved to Rumble, so if you have Rumble, that's where you'll find them. But the show is as awesome as it ever was. I enjoy listening to those guys, but they're the kind of they're not in a band. You know what I mean? They don't have to go around and see these other musicians. You know what I mean? They can do their show like they do it. But for somebody like me, yes, I'm doing podcasting, but I have to be mindful of those things. But either way, as I just said to you guys a few minutes ago, I respect anybody that's good enough as a musician that they got the gig in a band and they're actually out there touring and playing shows. You get my respect, all of you. And I'm always happy for like my fellow musician friends that are on my Facebook. They'll probably, back me up here that if I see them, I'm always happy to like give them a like on something when they're doing it. Especially if there's somebody that I know is nice to me and friendly and says good things about me when I'm not around. Um, who saw my Pete Evick hangout last Friday? That was super cool. That was probably the best numbers I've had on a hangout ever. So I mean, obviously I'm going to have Pete back. I wanted to personally thank Brett Michaels of Poison for taking that hangout and pasting or pinning it on top of his Facebook. How cool is that when Brett Michaels takes your post and puts it on? I mean, that made me feel really good about myself. So Brett, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate the support. Johnny Ponder, love the shirt. Yeah, this is a Mickey Rat shirt that Stephen Pearcy gave me. Stephen actually sent me a couple more shirts, and they're too big. I mean, he thought I was still the fat guy, and I'm not. I'm like a medium now, and so he sent me like extra larges of some Top Fuel record shirts. So I think on Tuesday I'm gonna go ahead and give those away. So anybody who comes to the Fright Bite on Tuesday, some of the Wheel of Misfortune gifts are gonna be from Stephen Pearcy himself. It's good, and he's a fan of the show. He's the only guy who has a Fright Bite poster right now from the show. I've been lazy getting the Fright Bite poster up for sale, but we've been letting fans spin Dahlia's Wheel of Misfortune. With it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will give you a little peek. That was Dahlia, my co-host, of course. But that is the wheel. It's basically, I think there's like 20 things on there. 19 are bad things: headaches, stub toes, jury duty, crappy stuff. But one thing's a cool thing. It's a nice free thing. It's either like a autographed poster from Dahlia and Count Cracula. I got some cool T-shirts from Stephen Pearcy. We'll be throwing into. So definitely show up to that. I got more super chats. All right. Let me see what we got here. 4040 Bree. Steven never talked about Ratt opening for Billy Squier in 1984 when his career was imploding from Rock Me Tonight video. Um, well, I haven't heard him talk about that tour itself. I don't think they were on it too long. I think they did the tour for a little bit, but then they were headlining pretty quick after that. He's never made mention to me of that video, and honestly, like I don't. As a kid, I remember the song. I don't think the video got that many spins back then. I know it's become a phenomenon today, and I will tell you that those hilarious like Billy Squire shreds videos and stuff where they swap the audio out and it's you just hear him shuffling around with no music. Like Steven definitely thinks those are funny. You know what I mean? He laughs at that stuff. And obviously, if anybody does some kind of AI mashup with any Rat song, of course he hears about it. Like there was just a one last week of Sade or something, and Rat. And I must have had like 100 people send that to me. I'm like, I'm pretty sure Steven hears that stuff when it comes out. But yeah, anywho, let me see here. Johnny Ponder, I love the first arcade. Yeah, I've told this story before, but it's pretty funny. The first arcade single was what was that? Needles and pins haven't been so good to me. Oh, Dancing with the Angels, right? The first couple lines from that is actually from the band I was playing in that Steven was kind of producing in a way. He was like paying for our demos and stuff. And one of the first songs we recorded was called Fear City. The irony is like as a kid, when you're young like that, you're like 17 years old and you're coming up with riffs. They're usually a rip off of another riff. And I was inadvertently ripping off "Loving You's a Dirty Job." I think it was like, but I changed it a little bit. It was like, um, what was that like? I was like doing kind of a funk rock kind of thing. Like the '90s were like a lot of funk mixed with rock. It was like a sound that didn't last that long. It was kind of inspired, I think, from Chili Peppers kind of vibe or In Excess or something. But anyways, I was kind of ripping him off, but he ended up ripping us off. He took like the first two lines that like needles and pins haven't been so good to me, like poor cheap trash with the need for a social disease. So like when the first hit single came on the radio and I was driving, like here it is, everybody, it's the first arcade song, and then they played it, and I heard the lyrics come out. I was like, what? But it was pretty awesome. I was okay, and he really had done us a solid recording those demos for us. It got us on the radio here in San Diego. The station that's Rock 105.3 now used to be Rock 102.1 back in the 90s. And they used to play my band Voodoo. They used to play our songs all the time in regular rotation. So I was getting like a feel even as a teenager what it's like to have your songs being played on the radio, not just on like the local show at night, late at night or whatever, but actually in regular rotation throughout the day. And that there's been like 10 songs they did with us over like a 5-year period, which was super cool. But yeah, those bands kind of, I always played with older people. Like I was always the youngest guy in the band. And you know how it goes, it's like the Bryan Adams song, Jody quit, whatever. Billy got married. These things happen. The bands break up. I played in a band with some of the Asphalt Ballet guys. We had a band called 13A in the late 90s that was pretty heavy. Like I said, you could go check out that video, No Digital, No Machine, on there and catch a whiff of that. We won the Miller Genuine Draft Battle of the Bands back in 1999 and won like 10 grand or something back then and a little small recording contract. But the band kind of, disbanded, and I got offered the gig with Steven when I was about 28, turning 29 years old. And I've managed to hang on to it this whole time, which is insane. Like, I think about, people that like work for the government or whatever, when they hit that 25-year mark, they get a paycheck for like the rest of their life, or something. And I don't really have a setup like that. I don't really have too much to show except my, experiences that I've had. But when you think about our lives and like how they end and, we die and you don't take anything with you as far as like materialistic things, you just have whatever your conscious, maybe, I don't know what happens to it, something, I believe something, our souls. But it's really just your experiences and the love you gave and things like that. And, I'm glad I got to be out there. To me, that was to be on stage with Steven all these years and all the awesome concerts we played. That was amazing. I mean, even if it ended, I would be okay with it. You know what I mean? I can look back on those decades of shows and I'm okay with it. Like I've heard people say that I'm not a friendly person or something like that. I don't really at the shows. My motivations have changed now. Like I'm not like, well, I can't wait till the show's over so I can go run out in the crowd and try to get laid or like, I'm not about that anymore. Plus, I've lived with somebody for like 5 years now, but post COVID, I'm also like a little hesitant to be out shaking hands. I mean, I'm usually haven't got a lot of sleep in the last couple of days. I'm usually run down. I want to like limit the amount of germs I'm exposing myself to. But really, I just want to go play the best concert I can. Have it go as smooth as possible. Make sure I catch all my flights and lobby calls and bus calls and all that. And just get home and get home safe to my cats and get paid and pay my bills and my rent with my music. You know what I mean? I never had the thought to like become a podcaster or do YouTube. I never saw the value in it. I'm slow with that sort of thing when it comes to like um, money opportunities. I mean, I would have just been happy playing music and doing that and having a private life. But you know, things have changed for a lot of us musicians. We've had to pivot to this YouTube but guitar bedroom world where the only way to get money is through clicks and donations and busking and you know things like that. It's a world that I didn't think I'd ever have to be in, but I'm finding myself in it. You know, have I noticed Jason making a crap ton of money off this stuff and gone, wow, I should try to do something like that? Yes. Did I try to go out doing the tour videos? No, I was doing stuff like Sea Glass Hunters and um, God, I think I did some other kind of channel too. Oh, I tried to do something for the Fright Bite off of CMS, but it was like not happening. I was doing some AI stuff and wasn't doing anything. But he was making fun of that. He would make fun of me doing something that had nothing to do with what he was doing. It was all about taking the piss from me every week to build up, you know, his client and make me look as bad as possible, which is awful, man. It's just that's not a good human behavior to do. And for me, it's not jealousy or anything like that. It's just being annoyed by it and just like how long do I have to put up? I put up with it for like almost 5 years, and I'm done. I was done with it, and that's what you see happening today. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to take things in matters in your own hands and just put people in their place, and that's it. Um, NC3836. I do find it interesting that this person would pick on people's looks. Haha, he's nothing to look at. No, he's not. He's not, it was very weird. It's like honestly, you guys could all be holograms, and this could be a total Truman Show world that we're living in. Like this whole he has been the biggest villain that I've ever had to deal with in my entire life. I've never met somebody that awful in my entire life. And if I mean, I'm downplaying it right now. How bad this was on my psyche, my emotions. It got me to the point where I couldn't make music anymore. You know what I mean? That's how much this was ruining my life. John Evans, good evening, Eric. Good to see you. Well, thank you. I know this is probably the most unfun hangout so far. Mickey Hernandez, real genuine dude, great producer too, down to earth mother effer. I don't know. Are you talking about me? Uh, anyways, M396, Karma's a bitch, Ferentinos, and it's coming to get you. By the way, pay your rent. Well, yeah, I do have to pay my rent, unlike Johnny Monaco, who bought his condo straight away while he's crying about how he's going to pay his rent. How many of you guys have enough money to go buy a condo straight away without a mortgage? And you're giving that guy money? You're stupid. And this guy here is stupid. I just wanted to bring it to his attention before I boot him out of here permanently. I do pay my rent with my music, unlike Jason, who could only pay his rent off the backs of us, actual musicians that play. He can't play an instrument. He didn't come up with the theme song for his show. He had to hire somebody for that. You know, when it comes to the Fright Bite, I made that music. It's not AI. I had to create that for the show. The song for the show tonight, I wrote in 1999 with Julius from 13A. That's him singing on there, and that sounds super punk rock, and I just like it, and I kept it in there. Um, moving on. Hard Rock and Trivia. Hey, Eric, you're getting paid to do what you love. That's awesome. Yeah, not all the time. I mean, sometimes I got to take a seat. You know, Steven goes and does his rat thing, and I stay busy. I mean, you know, I always have somebody offering me work. Amber, I want to know what happened with Nita Strauss. As far as I know, I think Jason was managing her, and there was a point where her now husband was just kind of wanted to take it over. And it was really, I think, just as simple as that. It wasn't like oh yeah, Jason, you're going to manage me for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like the guy wanted to take over. I mean, I've watched Steven do the same thing. Like he'll have a manager for a bit and then not. I mean, I feel like Steven, when you're at a point, you're an iconic guy, and God, what's that? Like a nostalgic kind of act situation where you're 40 years in. You don't really need a manager at that point. I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone, but you need a solid agent. You know what I mean? And you need a good assistant, maybe a good tour manager. But I don't think you need a manager. Managers are skis as guys. They take a percentage, and they're kind of more for somebody to manage like somebody's early career, where they're they have these weird favors going on between other people that, oh, I'm going to do this favor and this favor, you do me a favor, help this guy and I'll help your guy, and it's all that kind of stuff that doesn't necessarily benefit the artist himself fully. You know what I mean? It's more like it's just weird deals going on where you're better off having a solid guy. I mean, to me, a good tour manager for somebody like Steven would be somebody that could drive, somebody that could set up gear, somebody that knows how it's supposed to sound, that could help direct the sound guy to make sure that if we're using a house guy, everything's correct. Not somebody that's leaving our sound check to go make location videos. You know what that's called, guys? That's called double dipping. Okay? When Stephen Pearcy is financing another person's YouTube channel so they can go to these locations that if it wasn't for Stephen buying the plane tickets for the band, they wouldn't be out there. That's not right. So it's just things to think about. All right. Dragon City demo. Hey, Eric, Dennis D. Glad you're happy and healthy. Rad shirt, homie. Your hair looks great. Well, don't have much hair left, but it is what it is. Led Zeppelin, Eric, you're humble and well mannered. The Cavazzo story is an example. Carlos is such a good dude. He really is. He's a sweetheart, and that dude is such a solid guitarist. And I really didn't realize what a good singer he is. Like when you hear him singing backups with the DeMartini thing, it's pretty damn impressive. Yeah, here we're getting some love for Carlos. Hard Rock and Trivia Show. Carlos Cavazzo equals great dude. Yeah, he is a great dude. Johnny Ponder, I got your back. Yeah, man, that's cool. I mean, I love it when people have my back. I'm not going to try to be the tough guy that's, I don't need anybody. I don't need it. No, it's nice. I mean, it makes me feel good when you see somebody stick up for you. That's how you know who your friends are. But I always find it interesting seeing comments on YouTube or even the guys trying to come in here and, cause trouble tonight. Nobody has their actual name. And you know why that is? Because they're cowards. They're all cowards. I didn't run around saying bad things about people. I have no like fake handles anywhere. Not to say that in my life I haven't done that when I was like in my 20s or something, when I was still immature, my brain was still developing, but as an adult male, I don't have time for that shit. I have so many deadlines for music and things like that. Just like editing the Fright Bite each week is such a deal. Like the amount of effort that I try to put in to make my channel a little bit of everything and unique, a lot goes into it. And I don't have time to play stupid child games like that, man. I'm a legit musician. I don't have time for that. Because I kind of picked up what you were putting down in November. The news was hinted at and waiting for a statement. Yeah, I mean, I think what T-Cuz is talking about there is an opportunity that I gave to Jason. I was getting people in the chat that were telling me, hey, why does he hate you so much? Why is he saying all these bad things? Which is really just a sign of how unprofessional he is. That gets back to me, and my sponsors were asking me what's going on. Friends of mine, bands that I'm working with, like Jimmy from the Project, going, hey man, this guy's saying bad shit about you. Like that is humiliating to happen. And if you're wondering why Steven wasn't picking up on it, he doesn't watch his show. He's busy with his own life. You know what I mean? He doesn't have time to sit here watching that. He didn't know. I mean, people were starting to bring it to his attention, but it's to hear a campaign like it ain't right. Yeah, you're right. It ain't right. And you guys should know that. Let's just take Jason out of the equation altogether. If you worked at your job, at your office, and you know how sometimes an office will have like an office meeting or something where, okay, everybody, here's the donuts. We're going to have a meeting today. Do you get up and start just fucking making fun of somebody's body or their hair, or like start going, no, don't listen to what Tina has to say. She's ugly, or like nobody would say something like that, right? I mean, you would think somebody that's that toxic, that's in a workplace. I mean, you have rules you sign, when you work somewhere, there's like a rule book, right? Like an employee handbook to go, hey, this is what sexual harassment is. Hey, this is what this is. And there's just like a common understanding that you show a respect for your team. on the floor. So as far as like firing, dude, this guy broke like five things that you would get fired for. To hear him say that he didn't make a good wage or this guy was basically robbing Pearcy blind. He was taking a full cut band member, taking 10% of the merch, taking 10% of the meet and greets, having his girlfriend sell the merch, no books, no paperwork. Sometimes you got to step in and help your family out and like let them realize what's happening here. You know what I mean? Like stop the madness. And then taking all that video and going to YouTube and exploiting us with no release forms, no permission. I mean, I was never down with any of this. So you guys are like, oh, Erik wasn't one of them. Or, yeah, you're goddamn right. I was never one of them. And to think that all that money was being made and kept for just him. And at one point, I think it was like in August, he was waving around like a $7,000 check for 1 month of YouTube from the channel he built off our backs. And then going on his live show each week and just shit talking me every week, but not saying my name because he's a coward. And I say his name, Jason. I'll say your name, buddy. Because to my face, you're nice and timid and whatever, but you get behind that microphone on your show and you're a motherfucker, and you paid the price. Some fan said you lost 1.7 million views. Man, that's some Larry H. Parker numbers right there, man. You really fucked with the wrong guy, didn't you? Johnny Ponder, yours are better without the BS. Pretty much. I mean, I've seen the template, you know what I mean? I've seen what it is, and if that's something you guys like, I have that. Amber, I thought those tour diaries were invasive and I would be annoyed. You think? I mean, when I said I didn't want to be in it anymore, you know what he would do is just film me if he saw me eating a sandwich, or just film the back of my head when I wasn't looking, and just shitty shit, man. Not a good person. And it gets to the point where you got to kind of warn people about it. You know what I mean? Don't let this guy leech onto your camp. You know what I mean? He will exploit you to the full extent. Led Zeppelin, you look young for 53, buddy. I don't know how I do, man, because I've been through some shit. Like touring, it beats you up so bad. I mean, just the lack of sleep. And then, when you're younger, there's all the drinking and drugging and women and stuff. I mean, it ages you. I mean, I'm actually, this break that I've had has been so good for me. I mean, even though it sucks not to be making like the money I was making on the road, it's been worth it to make less money and get my health together. Losing 25 pounds, just making sure I'm mentally in the right spot, you know what I mean, to create and do what I was born to do. Wednesday is 50. Yeah. Yeah, all these people should be more considerate of people in the scene. That was, I mean, surprising, not surprising. I mean, Wednesday, him coming and telling people not to subscribe to my channel didn't mean shit. I think I lost like 30 people. And those were probably spies and fake accounts that he had infiltrated me with. Overall, I haven't really lost many people. I've gained, if anything. He's the one that's losing. And as of today, he appears to have allegedly disconnected his Instagram. I mean, is that something that an innocent person does? That sounds like somebody trying to hide a bunch of shit. Amber, we might be 50, but his music seems like music you listen to in teens and 20s, kind of like how FIRs. Yeah, I think I said some very kind things about Wednesday tonight. That he has my respect as an artist. I think he has his gig together very well, the whole presentation, and his band seems super solid. And I am not at all casting any shade in that area. I think it was a very bad decision to go on Jason's show and stand by him and continue to bully me. And I hate using that term, but I think with him, what was weird is that he's supposed to be a goth guy. And like, I consider myself kind of that in a way. I had a band like that. I used to really kind of play up the goth aesthetic and clothing and bondage pants and punk, kind of looks. I kind of grew out of it. I'm kind of getting to the point where I feel a little silly doing the Hot Topic thing at 53. I'm cool with it. I know on stage, Steven wants us to be kind of dressed up. So I do still kind of dress up on stage and go out there, but I do not go around like that in my life. You know what I mean? In fact, I try to look like a homeless person when I just try to blend in when I go to the supermarket. I don't want to be recognized. You will probably not see me without a hat on out in public. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for that. I don't need adulation. I don't need people to see me, talk to me. I'm just like, just want to get my groceries and come home. You know what I mean? Leads up remains the same. Enjoy your channel. Well, thank you, sir. I mean, it will improve over time. I'm just asking you guys, stick with me. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Not everybody, as you guys know, are going to like you in general. There's no way everybody's going to like me. I don't expect it. Not expecting it at all. I don't know why they come here to tell me they don't like me. I mean, when I don't like something, I just don't watch it. That's it. It's pretty basic. My mantra on this show is be cool and be kind to each other. Is that so hard? Can you do a nice thing for your friend? Can you build up your friend a little bit? Is there somebody that maybe has a business that you think that they're working hard at and you want to go, hey guys, if you need to get your car fixed, this guy's got a good shop, or hey, if this girlfriend of mine or guy friend makes these cool shirts, you should like check them out, promote your friend. Build them up, share their post, like their post, don't be jealous of them. You'd be surprised how doing positive things brings that positivity to you. If you want to just get old, bitter, and cranky and just go, I'm better than this guy, I'm better than that guy, I should have this, I should have that, dude, you're in for a world of hurt. You got to spread the love, and that love will come back to you. Tim Noble, Team Pearcy and Erik, we appreciate that. It really isn't a team. It's not even a team thing. I don't like to speak for Steven, but I mean, his press releases spoke volumes. You know what I mean? A hired person, no longer with us. 2 hired people that are no longer with us. We wish them the best. Okay? Kind of. You know what I mean? Like, move forward. But when it came to the videos, I was pretty shocked to see Jason. I have these, by the way, anything that I mentioned tonight, believe me, I have videos. I have like hundreds of gigabytes of videos of Jason shit talking me for years. I have all that. I wouldn't have come out and like made a press release like that unless I had a fucking mountain of stuff to bring to a courtroom or something like that. I was going to sue him. But I knew the defense that he would give. It's the same pathetic one that he gave the other day, which was basically, I'm a comedy channel and I was just kidding. And Erik's a pussy. He didn't say I was a pussy, but he was saying, he just doesn't have thick skin, which is, that's so toxic. Oh, just kidding. Oh, Jason, I was just kidding when I said that, that you're a cyberbully. I was just kidding. Sorry you lost 1.7 million views over my Facebook post. Damn, dude. Was it worth it? Black Phillip, I totally dig the show. I first saw Erik when he joined the Aiken show, and I just dig him as a person and fellow musician. So when he started his own show, I obviously came right on board. Good times. Thank you. Black Phillip is one of my favorite people.
Sexy times.
That comes and he loves the Fright Bite, and I love that because that's part of the reason why Dahlia and I we like seeing Spicoli and Black Phillip, these people that look forward to the Fright Bite and think it's funny. Stoney Jackson, Marsha, these are our peeps. Jay Lee, they love it. They look forward to it. Scott Johnson, they look forward to that show. If it's just the 5 of them, we're gonna be there. Anybody else doesn't like it, bye. What do you want me to tell you? I don't know what to say. Amber, Steven and Erik equal legends. YouTuber equals not so much legend. Yeah. I mean, I always considered anyone under 50,000 views to be kind of small time. Am I wrong? I mean, with that said, when it comes to like, when I would be in a, conspiracy videos and stuff, I would prefer to watch somebody with less than 50,000 subscribers because I felt like they were more real. Like you could trust them because they didn't become all corporate. Once you get over the 50,000, you probably have sponsorships and people, and you're supposed to be kind of more guarded with what you're saying. Some people understood that, some didn't. But I feel like you get phonier the more people you get, but when it's like less, you feel like you can be a little more real. So I'm not saying something disparaging about channels that have under 50,000. I just think it becomes something else after that. Seeing how quick I got subscribers putting road videos up is pretty much what I suspected. When he would brag about how great he is, it was like those tour videos kind of more put him on the map, in my opinion. That became the highlight of his channel. So it was like, when he would talk all this shit, it was almost like he's like, I got the magic wand. I got the magic wand. It's like, give me that. I got the magic wand now. You know what I mean? Like, and sure enough, like, even with only having like, God, when I started the channel 3 months ago, I had 100 subs. I'm almost up to 2,000. That's how easy it was. So when I see him with 45, like, I feel like he should have had like 145,000 with all the access that he had and bands that he had. That's a lot of people that don't like him. You know what I mean? And when you have to have your girlfriend full time getting rid of bad comments all the time, it's like, you guys aren't seeing what's really going on. Okay. Let's Up remains the same. Only meant to say that him having Wednesday 13 every week was boring. Well, that's all. It's just your opinion. You know what I mean? I didn't watch the show, and I know people make fun of that, but I really didn't. It really effed with my head to hear his show, because he would always make fun of me on it. And it was like, I finally went, you know what? I'm just not going to watch it, and I'm just not going to let him get to me. But then, as I said, I was getting family, friends, people coming to me, and then finally it got to a point where I go, you know what? Just send me whatever the video clip of what he's saying. Just send me that, because he makes me want to throw up. Just give me, and then I don't even look at it. Honestly, I just keep it in a Dropbox folder for the lawyers or whoever. You know what I mean? It's like, but ultimately was his undoing. As I said earlier, it's funny tonight. We don't even know who he's talking about. Is it the bald guy? Is it the bald vampire? I mean, he's so offensive. He offended so many different people all over the place that you got a bunch of bald guys pissed off now, and no one knows who he's talking about. Let me see. Got another super chat here from 4040 Bree. Jason seemed like the type who would gatekeep and didn't want anyone else getting close to Steven. He could have stalkers. Yes, could have stalkers tendency. You're absolutely right there. Anyone that was doing something like Jason, he had to destroy that. And when I got the gig with Chris Aiken 3.5 years ago, I was like, oh, I'm doing podcasts now. Can you believe it? I was like, thought he'd be like happy or something, and he was like super just not happy about it. And I noticed when I happened to put on his show the next day after my first podcast, and like him and Johnny were there, just completely just shit talking me. They're like, ha, 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 you don't give a guy like that a voice. They're just like, I was like so hurt. I was like, oh my God, you think that this guy would have been like, hey guys, Erik's got a channel now? Even if they made a joke that they would go, hey, go check it out though, or sub, but it was like, they were both like just taking whatever friends and fame they had and just trying to turn people away from it. They're like, my show is the only good show. Don't look at him. He's a bald guy. It's like, I don't get what anybody ever thought was good about the show, to be honest. Oh, it's just his dry sense of humor. That's not humor, guys. You got shitty taste. That's all I can tell you. Hard Rock and Trivia Show. Billy Squier is a millionaire now because he owns his music, and rappers have been sampling him for years. Yeah, I loved Billy Squier. Like when MTV was new, Lonely as the Night was my jam when I was a little kid. I just thought that song was so badass. Billy had a phenomenal band. His drummer was like all time. He's like, sadly, the guy passed away, but that record was phenomenal. That Don't Say No record was something else, man. It really was. Skylar B, at the end of the day, it's all about good music. Yes, we are back to the music. I need to have that dude just out of my life forever. I know that at this point, I just want to move to the popcorn stage where I'm with you guys and we're just home eating popcorn about it, because as you know, and this is show number 15, I don't talk about him. There was only one time that I had, and I think I didn't get to finish my thought earlier, but I made a reference. I don't remember which show it was, but somebody said he's been talking shit, and I acknowledged it. And I go, here's my advice for Jason. I go, you should resign. You should resign right now, because all your talking is coming to roost, and it's going to end very badly for you. And that was the most sincere thing I ever said on my show to him. And I gave him about 2 weeks. And at that point, Stephen and I were working with Billy Corgan, and Stephen had gone on Billy's podcast and it was doing phenomenal. And we got this jabroni on his show mocking Billy Corgan, and we were freaking just mortified over that. I mean, can you imagine? You got a guy working for you that's like basically trying to destroy you from within. You know, I mean, when Steven said he should have been let go a long time, he's not kidding. Like wow, he seriously was a liability to us. The Kimothy. Saw y'all a few years ago on the Monsters of Rock, that pool deck night show. Is in my top 5 show memories of my life. Found you both and the X on the YT about the same time. So much makes so much sense now. Yeah, that was a fun time. I enjoy the cruises and everybody. The people that go on these cruises are really great people. So if you have not been on the Monsters of Rock cruise or the 80s cruise or any of these cool, I mean, they're the best ones, I think. Any 80s cruise, even the pop ones, are a lot of fun. But it's worth it. It's worth it. Go in on a cabin with some friends. You know, all your food's covered. It's just music, all your favorite bands, and you have full access. You see all these guys walking around. It's such an awesome time. I'm a worrywart. I always like fear the worst a lot of the times, and like the idea of going on the ocean freaked me out. I wasn't really into it, but I got used to it after like about 3 cruises. I was like, this is fun. I enjoy it. Where I live, like the condo I live at's right on the beach, so it's similar. You know, it's like that view you guys see off the cruise is like what I see like every day. I walk out every morning. It's similar. But if you don't live by the beach, that's a great getaway to get on the water and go to wherever. I don't know. Wherever it's safe to go now. Sin Crazy. It's only rock and roll, brother. I like it. Skylar, what you give is what you get. And don't you bite the hand that feeds you, mofo. Don't you do it. Last week I made a point of saying it's good to take the high road. I'm like, you're never gonna regret taking the high road ever. And I can't drive that home enough. Christianity. Hey, Eric. Hey, Christianity. Man, our Sin Crazy song's coming along. I don't know if I'm supposed to announce like this other rock star that's playing on it, but it's somebody pretty phenomenal and actually ties in. That's just a little hint, but it should be fun. San Diego Live. Eric, are you looking for another side project? I'm always open to stuff. I mean, you can hit me up on my Facebook if you're not already on there. I've done work for probably like 3 different artists this year. You know, 4, including Steven's new album. But I'm always down for contributing tracks or whatever. You know, depending on how involved it is, we work out some kind of arrangement. What's cool now in the world we're living in, a lot of artists can do tracks from home. Like I have a cool home setup, so I don't always have to go in, or if it's out of state, I could still be a part of it. Black Phillip, yeah, I'm totally lost on what happened. Loved Murder Dolls and Wednesday's first 2 solo albums, but fell off when he went straight metal. Yeah, again, like I want to keep it positive there. I mean, there's a lot of people that love Wednesday, and he has a huge fan base. I'm not looking. I don't need a bunch of Hot Topic kids coming after me. You know what I mean? No, but I was serious. Like I think on a professional musical level, the dude has my respect. Totally. You know what I mean? I would never say something negative about somebody like that's had the career he has. He's my age. It's like we've been doing this the same time. The only difference is he's able to do this on his own merit. You know, my 25 years has been under Steven's coattails in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Without Steven's name, like most people don't know who I am. But now that I've survived, stephenpearcy Island for 25 years, now I deserve a little bit of respect and a little bit of kudos. And it is nice that Steven and the band allow me the privilege to put my own little road diaries. That's another thing on that tip I kind of want to mention is Jason didn't invent any of these things. He did not invent the road blog. I'm sorry, guys, but every professional musician that's out there does it. They all do it. There's not one national act that we have to do it. We have to do it because that's how we get money. The music doesn't pay us anymore. We have to use our social media and we have to put little tour updates and reels and stuff. Nobody's copying Jason. In fact, for somebody making those claims, his location videos, he completely I mean, every location he goes to, there's about 1,000 people that have done the location video ahead of him. Okay, that's just reality. It's ridiculous what he takes credit for. And there's one major thing he takes credit for lately that is so just disgusting to hear, and that's Stephen Pearcy's success. Stephen Pearcy sold millions of records. He's a beloved hard rock icon. Okay, 40 plus years of service as a rock soldier. Jason has nothing to do with his success. The guy who deserves big kudos is Big Time Entertainment. It's Sullivan Big. If you go to Big Time Entertainment and go to his roster and look at the band, Sebastian Bach, all these Slaughter, Vince Neil, all these people that for decades Sullivan has built up, putting on bringing these bands to all your, fairs and casinos all around the country. And the work he's done for these bands are amazing. He's one of the hardest working people I've ever known. Super solid dude, super professional, super trustworthy. And he built a massive talent agency that's amazing. And we owe him any gratitude in that department. Jason doesn't book the shows. Sullivan booked the shows, guys. Come on. Don't buy his bullshit, because that's all it is. Skylar, it's business. It's business. It is business. It's the music business, and it's a shitty business. There's a lot of talented people out there that are so much more talented than myself or anybody I play with, that they're just good people, and they don't put themselves out there like that. They would rather play for their church or sing for their church and not be a part of that cesspool. I mean, it's a gross business. I mean, I'm fortunate that I've been, I joked about the coattails of Steven, but he's the one that was like kind of in the industry. You know what I mean? I was like kind of protected. You know what I mean? I've always been protected, not just by him, but forces that some of you couldn't possibly understand. They're not even part of this realm. All right. Let's see here. The Trisha Kiss. I thought the same thing about begging people to purchase things from Amazon to furnish your condo. It's crazy embarrassing. Yeah, we told them to stop doing that. Stop using our validity to get money from people. And one thing that I was very concerned about was that Toys for Tots drive, because I'm like, wait a second, you raised $5,000. You say you're bragging that you raised $5,000, but for YouTubers, like, we don't get the money. Like, the money I make this month on YouTube, I'm not going to get it till like the 23rd of next month. So if you're within December, you're actively raising this money for Toys for Tots, but you're not getting the money for a month, but you're planning to go. Like, how are you doing this? Like, none of it made sense. Like, are you giving these guys a check for $5,000? What is the deal here? No, you're going to go buy $5,000 worth of toys, and then you name toys like footballs, and like, do you know how many fucking footballs that is? Do you know how many carloads of toys that is? Like, if you were gonna do, like, who would do all that work? It doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if I'm gonna use my show for a fundraiser and go, okay, you guys put all your money in, whatever that amount, that goal we have, I would be very proud to hand over a check for that amount and show you guys the receipt for that check. There has been no receipt shown for this. Wednesday 13 made a choice to come on the show. Oh, yeah, so it was a video. He's in a toy store. Dude, that ain't a receipt, bro. We want to see the receipt. If you show it, good, I'll apologize, but it just doesn't make sense. And yeah, raising money to furnish Johnny's condo that he fucking bought straight away when he's telling people that he rents, that's lying to your audience. And there's people of that community that don't have a lot, but they're just giving. You know who has a lot? Rich people. Do you think they give a lot? They don't. You know who give a lot? Poor people, because they're good people, and that's why they're poor, because they give a lot. So when you're lying to your audience about things and getting money from them, that is fucking wrong. I know I'm upset tonight. I'm sorry, you guys, but it's been a emotional week. Mr. Scary, Jason was and is a parasite. That is an understatement. I've never been so exploited in my life, and I know every one of the band members feels that way. So this isn't just a matter of me. This is all of us. And this isn't just all of us. This is all of us, our girlfriends, our wives. We're all offended and disgusted, and we want to make sure you guys know that he has fucking nothing to do with us. And yes, I asked the Ratt fans and I asked the Stephen Pearcy fans. I owe that to you. I owe that to you. Jimmy Jam, question for you. Do you guys hire your own personal techs? We've had personal techs. Right now Sam is a tech that works for us. But you know, we should have had it with a tour manager that's getting 3 times the amount of the band members. This guy should have been a one-man show. And the fact that Jason doesn't even have can't even drive a car or set up a piece of equipment, and he's not even advancing the shows. Come on, man. No, you're taking advantage of my boss. That's it. Let me see. Heather Sean, you rock, Eric. Thank you. Nobody cares about that douche. Well, apparently 46,000 people care about him because they're still on his thing, unless he bought them. Unless those are like just bots. Brian School, tour manager should know sound and stage. No, he doesn't know any of that. He was faking everything the entire time. He was a total phony in a fucking Fonzie jacket. Most current TMs do sound and drive. No, he didn't do any of that. That was beneath him. He says it in his videos. He's like, oh, that's the tour manager holds the door. I'm the manager now. The things he was saying was just blowing my mind. It really, I don't want to do it all tonight. I mean, over time, you guys will get pieces of it, and it's insanity. It's pure mental insanity. Eternal Servant Eric, any empath could see what you said. It showed. I'm a big Blotzer fan. Yeah, you know what? Bobby Blotzer has always been totally cool to me. I've played on stage with Bobby, but I want you guys to know that when Jason supplied him the band 10 years ago, that destroyed Ratt. That whole fraud that went on, that he was the vehicle for Bobby, that ruined relations forever. That lawsuit. And not just that, but I really feel like if Jason hadn't gone on that press junket, if you will, where he just like, you know, just said the worst things about Bob, that there was just no coming. I felt like there was no coming back from it, you know, where the band was embarrassed. It just, I mean, that whole event, and he shouldn't be able to escape being a part of that. He was very much a part of that, and it was a fraud. And that's important because that comes in later, you know. I started to realize pretty quick into it that that he was not doing me any favors, that he was definitely trying to hurt me very early on. I did my best to just keep my head down and keep my job. You guys know what it's like to want to keep your job. And I just was like, yes, sir, no, sir, take it. Never said anything. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, he's taking the piss from me every week, but not saying my name. Once it started like moving, when I heard Johnny Monaco the other night say derogatory things about Dahlia Dark, he's got balls saying that. I hope it was worth it, Johnny. I hope it was worth it to you. Those terrible things you said about her, because I'll fucking crush you, motherfucker. Hollis Coon, I quit watching Jason's channel during COVID and unsubbed. I think it was 0405. I saw you with Steven in Fort Worth. Yeah, good stuff. Tell us a secret. No secrets, man. Yeah, no secret. Why was Johnny fired? Because of Jason? I really liked his playing. Johnny was fired back in August for being unprofessional. What does that mean? That means that there was an iconic rock star that's accomplished so much more than Johnny could ever fucking dream of doing. That was on the tour when we were with Bret Michaels and Vince Neil. And Johnny decided to mock this person in front of all the band and crew like a total asshole. And it was awful. And that was it. I mean, those bands, I mean, he jeopardized the tour, our relationship with these bands, and Steven was left with no choice but to cut him loose. Not to mention he was a total annoying dick for like the whole time he was in the band, too. But that was the final straw for him. Totally unprofessional. David Carrasco, go Eric! God damn it! Yes. Johnny Ponder, I'm 55, look 65. That's okay. There's people that look like, 40 when they were in high school, but then they look 40 their whole life. Heath Sean, I always knew that you weren't down with any of that guy's shady behavior. I'm so, it's funny because in the comments, everybody's trying to separate me. Like, he was the oddball out. Please keep saying that. Because the further away you put me from that guy, the better. Jerome Davis loves Disney. Like your shirt, Eric. Is it? Yeah, it's a Mickey rat, almost like Mickey Mouse. Jerome has become a cool friend of the show. I think that lemonade can come from lemons, and I was always welcoming of people that were fans of Jason's show came over here. I gave them clean slates. I wasn't like he's from there, he's from there. Everybody's welcome here, man. Just be nice to each other. If you're coming in here to start trouble, I'll eventually get to your comment and you'll never be here again. And then you can just, whatever, go live your life, but it ain't going to be with my crew. Amber, I stopped watching that other channel regularly quite a while back, tired of his mouth and idiotic opinions. Yeah, it was just unprofessional is the only thing I could say. Hello, Eric, my son. Jason loves your content too. Barneyful episodes. Thank you. Yes, Barneyful Episodes has a son named Jason and loves the Fright Bite. And we are going to give shout outs to her family on Fright Bite night. From now on, I know that. Wednesday seems like a cool dude, just needs better friends. Yeah, I mean, I'm not judging him. I'm just like, wow, as a career decision, I think that was a really poor one at this particular time. If anybody cares about Wednesday, get him the hell away from that guy for his own career. I don't want to see the guy. That guy's worked his whole life, to get to where he's at. I don't want to see him throw it away so I got no beef with him anyways. That 70s guy. Jason honestly needs to cut the Howard Stern act. It's getting old, turns people away. They want to support someone who acknowledges their viewers and knows how to treat people. I used to like Howard Stern. I feel like when he went to Sirius XM, he started becoming a real hateful guy. And I don't know if it was just me maturing, but I couldn't deal with Howard anymore. And in fact, some of Howard's comments, made me so goddamn angry. I canceled Sirius XM altogether. I think that his comedy is outdated at this point. We're trying to we're trying to bring humanity to a higher level. You know what I mean? We're trying to I think it's important to take a look at ourselves and things that we can improve upon. Like for me, I can be very impatient. That's my downfall. I can get very angry and impatient, and I need to chill out and just be zen. And that's something I'm working on is my patience. But when it comes to being jealous of others or being bitter or tearing people down, that is so sick. And that's not that's not how winners think. Let me see here. Something crazy next. Whoops, haha, damn, White Stripes, cheers. Okay. I just bought a meet and greet with Steven today, ×2. Cool. How was the show? Did anybody go see Pearcy DiMartini last night? Anybody? That's right. Any new prospects for the other side of the stage now? Oh, well, that's a secret. I know somebody asked me a secret. Yeah, we're excited. We have a very competent soul coming in who's going to kick your ass, and it's cool. Like one thing I'm looking forward to is being taken seriously again. Like I don't like somebody lighting dumpster fires around our band to try. Look at this goofy mess. Look at this craziness. I don't want that. I want to be completely pro and go on stage, kick ass, go home. You know what I mean? Of course, the meet and greets, meet you guys, take some pictures and all that. But not looking for a dumpster fire. Jerome, Jason used to be nice and chill, and then he got an ego. Eric, never do that to us. We love you, gentlemen. Yes, I mean, I have an ego, Jerome. It's not that I don't have one, but no. I mean, you guys have been hanging with me this time. I mean, I think you've spent enough hours with me over the last few months to catch a good whiff of who I am. But I'm a human being, and after 5 years of this, I'm done. I'm done. I remember I called Sullivan and I go, I will never breathe the same air as that guy. I will never breathe the same air as him. I don't care how big people perceive him to be. I am taking him out of society. Amber, I thought it was weird how he talks about almost everyone. LA Guns, Blots, Eddie Trunk, even some. He was trying to take Eddie Trunk's job. That's how insane he is. He's like comparing himself to people that have had 50-year careers, that have launched bands that we love and been instrumental in promoting them. Basically just to body shame Eddie Trunk and go, I have better hair than him. I should be on the ship. I mean, these are friends of Steven's that we've had. I got Eddie Trunk's goddamn phone number in my phone. He's my friend. You know what I mean? Like, for him to embarrass us like that and make these claims that he's going to do that, he had to go, man. He's a very disrespectful person. Got some more super chats here. Let me see. David Hernandez, what's happened? Thank you, sir, for he's got 5 on it. Which song or riff from the Pearcy album Smash is your personal favorite that you created? Okay. Let me see here. I would say I think Want Too Much. I like the main riff and Want Too Much. I always thought that was a pretty badass riff. There's some good ones. This album, I didn't know which songs he was going to pick. And at the time, he had riffs of mine dating back like 10 years. Songs like Jamie and stuff were old, or Shut Down Baby and whatnot. I think 10 Miles Wide is a pretty great riff, too. The other stuff's kind of more like a tribute, Hit Me With a Bullet and songs like that was like kind of my little like doing like Aerosmithy stuff for Steven. We all love Led Zeppelin, so songs like What Do You Think Went Wrong is just me trying to, Led Zeppelin was cool like that. They gave us like a variety of styles, I felt. A little reggae, of course, rock, a little, maybe not country, but I don't know. Led Zeppelin didn't give you the same song every time, and I think we wanted to make an album that kind of went all over the place in a sense. Yeah, it's illegal to touch an artist's merchandise. I don't know what's legal or not legal. I just know that he should not be being paid more than me. End of fucking story. Especially when you don't drive, set up gear, and you're double dipping and leaving to go film. That he put out a location video today from Tampa. Where do you think he was? He was at the DeMartini thing in August when he filmed that. So if it wasn't for stephenpearcy paying for his ticket, he wouldn't be in Florida to do that video. But whatever he's doing, it's not helping the band. He's out probably having the runner from the show take him to that because he doesn't drive. So he's probably using the staff for the event to take him to these places. It's no. Emotions was good. What is that? Chris Aiken. I don't think I wrote that. Emotions. That's not that I did not. My name's not on that. Chris Aiken. Hi, Chris. Tikas. Bobby Cunard. Oh, right. Billy's drummer passed away in the late '90s. He was really good. He was like a Bonham, Amber in the dark, in the dark. Yeah, man, he had some just good songs. Even Stroke. I mean, the Stroke is a awesome song. Zachary Attackery. The idea that people are only coming to see Pearcy live because of Jason and his channel is insane. Well, that's part of the manipulation. Okay, constantly telling people that he would get on this microphone every week and tell everybody that it's him. He's the one. If it wasn't for him, and when you have like people that are susceptible to that, like I just noticed there's like just humanity, our brothers and sisters. There's some people that they just don't know. You know what I mean? Oh, really? Are you the one? They just believe everything, you know, and that's why we're our brother's keeper, guys. It's our job to like make sure that our maybe our gullible friend knows a little better. Goes, nah, this is not a good person. You know what I mean? Like you need to like take care of people because they get duped and they get separated from their money. You know how like we might have like a relative that's giving money away to some church or you know whatever, like they're losing all their money and they don't have that money to give away. You know, it's like you got to watch out for those people. I can't see anybody who's got money to be given to those jabronis. Give me a break. Daddy Goth. Jason removed me for being too funny. Well, I mean, I appreciate comedy. I have a sense of humor, and believe me, I make fun of myself all the time. But I mean, there's a point when I see other people making fun of me, I'm not sure what their motivations for doing it are. Steve Barker. I remember seeing Bon Jovi open up for Ratt. Yeah. Another positive thing I'd like to say about Steve, in my opinion, is Steven and myself, if we're going to compare us. I've said this many times on my show. We both want all you guys to win. Whatever it is you do in your lives, if you have a business that you run at home, we want your business to be successful. We want you to be able to afford to come see us play and not be worrying about shit in your life. If you have a band, we hope you guys come up with the most awesome song ever that we love, and we can maybe even play on the same bill or something. You know, bands like Poison, you know, Steven thought they were a cool band and was like, why don't you come open for us? You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't like, oh, Poison, those guys might be a threat to us. Maybe I'm going to shit talk them all day long. And maybe people will think they're lame and not like their hair, you know, or whatever. Like, that's not, Steven doesn't think like that. So to have somebody representing us that's toxic like that, that doesn't align with how we roll, how we rat and roll, okay? Steven loves all you guys, all of you. And he wants nothing but success for you. I've seen that. I've known this man for like 40 years. Okay, that's who he is. Me, I don't get jealous. I'm not a competitive guy. I sucked at sports. I'm not a sports guy. Okay, I like to create stuff with people, but it's hard to find people that I can trust. I'm just at that point where my friends are two cats. One's named Charlie Cat, and one's named Kylie, and those are the two souls that I trust the most, and that I spend my most time and that I want to go get home to. I was thrilled when I saw the Corgan podcast pop up with Pearcy. Yeah, I mean, I was a big, I liked Smashing Pumpkins when they came out. I respect Billy Corgan very much. There's a song that I wrote that he's supposed to be singing on, which is I'm like blown away by, and you know, I think part of the reason why Jason was shit talking Billy Corgan is because he was jealous of that. He hated that. You know, Steven went on his podcast. He hated that we were working on material together, so he was just disgusted. He wanted to let everybody know it. You know what I mean? Just it doesn't. I'm seriously. I think he needs mental help. I think he needs to be. Somebody needs to 5150 that dude. Johnny Vatican City, Johnny Rome, Johnny Madrid. Hey now from Germany. Hey man, that's is that a George Lynch guitar you got there? Rico. I love me some George Lynch. TJ M's Music, good friends with Chris Aiken. Heard wonderful things about your brother. Thank you. Yes, you know, Chris Aiken's family, as well as Neely, and you know, Chris has always got my back. I don't have to worry about that. Saying Grimes, I used to LMAO when I would see his videos arriving into each town and having to have the band members drive him around to get to venues. Isn't he supposed to be the other way around? Oh no. I mean, not only that, but when he made his girlfriend the tour manager, we with her and her suitcase and all that, we actually had to rent a whole second vehicle. And guess who drove that? Me. He would make sure to stick me in that vehicle, so I'd be driving. At least it was a Denali or something, you know what I mean? But it's like I'm sitting there by myself, and all those guys are in another car. You know what? Knowing now what I know, I'm so glad. I don't want to be. I'm so glad I'm on none of his live shows. Like, and I'm so happy that we got the videos off his channel. I I can't tell you, like, to know that he was going to profit the rest of his life while shit talking us. When he said that he was going to sell memberships and just have a shit talkathon about us, to think anybody's coming here not understanding what happened, I'm like, do you watch the show? You know, like, who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be fired for saying those things? Think about it. We got Hard Right 180 people watching right now. Phew. Man, I perform for way more people than that. When I go on stage, thousands of people are there sometimes. 180 people. I'll speak my mind to you guys. Johnny Ponder, they talked shit about Matt. Oh my God, did he talk shit about Matt? I mean, that was a whole nother thing. I mean, in a way, it kind of made me feel. This is gonna sound messed up, but after hearing what a shit guitar player I am from Monaco and Jason for the last 3 years, they would build up the other guys in the band. But as soon as Matt and his wife said, "Hey, look, man, we don't want to be on your show anymore," ooh, all of a sudden Matt's a subpar bass player and he sucks. And Jason could get anybody in there, and he was, no, he destroyed his relationship with Matt. And that was another stupid move, considering Matt's in the goddamn band. Matt wrote back for more, goddammit. I mean, you're going to talk to him like that? Guys. I got to take a break for a super chat. Wait a second here. What do we got here? This is the Project Band. What's up, Rockstar? What's up, Jimmy? When are these videos coming out, bro? We did 2 sick videos for the project just recently, and and they look amazing. Like, I don't know, they're pretty cool. Why don't you let us know when we can expect to see these videos for the project, Jimmy, and I'll read it on there. But thank you, sir. I appreciate the super chats tonight, guys. Yes, I survived. Only a couple more months. God, it'll be 7 months of no gigs with Pearcy by the time I play with them. That's a long time to survive. Dragon City demo. Wait, this ex-tour manager thinks he saved Steven's career? That's hilarious. He sounds like he's suffering from severe psychopathy. He is. No, I think he does need mental help. I absolutely think that. He carries no flashlights, Goj says. Yeah, what kind of crew person doesn't have a flashlight? Come on. No, that's beneath him, Scott. That is beneath him. Eternal Servant. Agree. Let Bloss drive. Isn't what legit manager does. Unprofessional. I really wanted Steve Sprite. I was really hoping we could get him because he's an amazing dude. And he grew up with Steven Adler. And he was, if you guys have ever seen Steven Adler play, Steve is like his dude. He's the guy we needed. He would have been the guy. But he is so successful. Like, he's running this whole, like, it's a whole cover band thing he's got that's a whole, like, national thing, and he's like managing this whole operation. So he's like too busy. I was like, oh God, that would have been so good, because you want a trustworthy, good soul that's just there, that cares about the band, that wants to make sure everything's set up and is good. Jason wasn't even advancing the shows, guys. He wasn't. I mean, and when he made some comment that pissed me off so bad. I heard that somebody was sending me the videos. He goes, "These guys have it easy. All they have to do is walk on stage." What? He's the tour manager. There was probably 6 years where I tour managed and played lead guitar and drove in the band, and the advancing the show. that takes like, I don't know, 10 minutes. There's a contract that goes out, and you basically, maybe talk to the sound people, maybe talk to the catering people, maybe talk to the promoter. You want to find out the itinerary, right? Like what time is everything at? But you keep a book and you just write these things down, and depending on the size of the venue, kind of dictates how far in advance you're going to advance such a thing. If it's these bigger events that are kind of festivals, those get advanced like months and months in advance. And if you don't advance it, you're going to hurt the band, because these are more like union people that work these events, and they will F with you, man. If you think that you're just going to roll in without advancing the show, they're going to like not even help you. They're going to turn their back on you. And that was happening to us on some of these last shows. I was getting emailed, I can't tell you, like probably 100 times where I had to like forward emails because they can't get a hold of the guy. Same with like on the Brett Michaels thing we were just on. They were like, even our agents, like, has anyone seen us, Jason? He's just too busy doing nothing, something that has nothing to do with our band, yet taking, money from Steven that far outweighs what anybody in the band was getting, and exploiting us to the point of going onto his show with no release forms whatsoever, and just thumbing his nose, bragging about all the money he's making. And no, guys, no, that grift has ended, sir. That is over. Jay Lee, Team Dahlia. Guys, Dahlia is an amazing role model, period. I mean, she's straight edge. She's a family woman. She's creative. She loves the Fright Bite. She loves doing the Fright Bite. I am honored to have her she's not by my side, but she's like on the other side of the screen. And I have so much respect for her. And there is, I can assure you, there's more to this life than what is on the surface level. I can assure you, I could just tell the way the universe works and the people that come into your lives at the right moment. There's something special happening here. Don't let the hate eat you guys up, and especially the fear, because fear is probably one of the strongest tactics used against us on the spiritual warfare that's going on with us, and all over the planet. But even here in our country, you can't be scared of these pedophiles or people trying to hurt our children. We have to protect our children at all costs, and you don't just go along with the Joneses because they're not, whatever they're doing. You protect your family at all costs, period. And she thinks that way too. She's always trying to get Count Cracula to live a healthier lifestyle. She's someone that you can trust and love, and she's a good person for your daughters to follow on the Fright Bite. I can promise you that. What did Johnny say? A bunch of dumb shit. A bunch of dumb shit that he probably regrets or doesn't. I don't know. Knowing him, he probably doesn't, because it was never about money. He wasn't there for the money. He was just there for the attention. The rest of us have to be careful what we say, because we have to pay our rent with those shows. I donated to Toys for Tots and unsubscribed after he slipped up and said he used it as a publicity stunt for the Sin City Sinners. Yeah. You know what? You're supposed to be doing something for kids like that, and you just end up, if he kept any of that, it's disgusting. I mean, somebody should really let Toys for Tots know about that, because taking in all this money, and I've watched him do this a couple years in a row. Like he goes down to the place and he just basically pans his camera as if he loaded this whole warehouse up. It's comedy. It's literally comedy. We only want to see one thing, Jason. It's the fucking receipt for those toys. Where is it? How would Dahlia be involved? Dahlia's just involved in the Fright Bite, and she's involved with her character development of her characters that she plays. She's involved with some of the writing. She films. She's the Boo TV News and Weather, which Jerome Loves Disney's loves all her outfits that Siobhan wears. That's her character. but she's the Northern Ireland weather and news, and she does all that at her place. And we both work equally on that every week. So when people trash it, I'm very protective of it, because I don't see any podcast doing anything like that. Like, it's so cool. I don't know anything like the Fright Bite. Please tell me, is there another show that's like the Fright Bite, where you have these vampires going on missions for the government and like hanging out with you guys and doing bits and like singing songs, and like, nobody's doing that. I'm sorry. If they are, please let me know in the chat. But it seems pretty original to me, and I sure as hell didn't get it from Jason Green. Okay. Dollar General, Malmsteen, sweep pickin' rat solos. Yeah. I think, Johnny can play. I never took that away from the guy. You know what I mean? I'm glad you can do that stuff and impress people with I was never into that. I was never into playing like that. And when it came to playing the Rat songs, I just played them like Warren did. That's it. Like what you see Warren doing now at the shows. I mean, I've heard people say that he's not, Johnny thinks he runs circles around Warren DeMartini, but that's not the case, sir. Warren DeMartini runs circles around you, literally runs circles around you. When he came back out after all these years, he was running around on stage like you could never do, Johnny. You stood there in one place. You are not Warren DeMartini. Shut up. PKC. I unsubbed from Jason's channel when he was cutting down Trump a long time ago. That guy, I mean, I'm not even on, I don't play those political games. I'm not a part of, me personally, I'm not part of the two-party system. I don't vote for either one of those. But one thing I'll tell you about him, he hates anybody in a red hat. Like, and who wears red hats, guys? Old senior citizens wear red hats, right? Young people don't wear Make America Great Again. It's like old farmers and stuff like that are hoping that they're going to save their farms this year. And we'd be out in middle America, traveling, and this motherfucker would be like in the restaurant shit talking these old, probably veterans and stuff, that are in restaurants. Yeah, you're fucking red hat and you're blah, blah. It's like, shut the fuck up. Leave these old people alone, you pussy. Antonio Martinez. Eric, you are so on one tonight. I'm loving every second of it. Poor Fonzie. Hey, but he's got the jacket, guys. Come on. He's a big-time tour manager with the Fonzie jacket. Juice and Alexis say hello, EF. Love from Dark Entries. Yes. Zachary Tackery. Oh man, this is amazing. I never thought I could stand Jason or Johnny. I love seeing karma for both of them. Yeah, I love it, but there's a dark side that we just want no part of it, guys. I think I said my piece tonight, and the rest is just popcorn time for us all. We've moved on. You're gonna get a badass Stephen Pearcy record this year, and you're gonna see DeMartini and Steven as it's meant to be, and you're gonna see some solo shows too. You're gonna get it all, baby. Let me see here. Jay Lee's throwing more in it. Spicoli's in the house tonight. All right. Jay Lee's just throwing money at me tonight, and where's Spicoli too? For the weed fund, son. Hey.
I know that, dude. Hey, bud. Let's party.
What are you people? On dope?
I know one guy's on dope. Spicoli. Oh, sexy times. Where's my sexy times?
Sexy times.
That's right. Okay, let's get back to my peeps. I know we got a lot of people here. Thanks everybody for coming tonight. How was Jason ever hired as tour manager? It had something to do with the court battle or something. He's a snitch bitch. He's a full blown snitch bitch of the highest order, and so he would erode that Blotzer thing into oblivion, guys. It wasn't until his lawyer Sherman got disbarred and everything went amok that he went, "Oh, here, what do you need? Well, I'm snitch bitch. What do you need from Blotzer to help you?" You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy. I love that Steven got that, but obviously it's not a settled thing now, so it's not like things are in a better situation. But at least Warren and Steven are together. I don't know. I don't want to say more than I have to. I think he got mad that DeMartini and Pearcy came on Eddie to announce. Oh, he was furious. I have videos of him. Shame on Warren. Shame on. What an ego fucking maniac. Yeah, he went with Eddie Trunk. He's been doing Eddie Trunk interviews for 40 fucking years, Jason. He doesn't trust you. Warren doesn't just put his name on anything. Mr. Scary. I thought Rain was a pretty good song. Smash. The piano at the end was a cool touch. Thank you. That's I had my little piano there. But yeah, Rain, that song, Steven, he liked the composition of it that I did, and he was like, I want this song to be about my daughter. So his daughter Jewel, he when you hear the lyrics to it, he's actually in his mind he wanted that to be a song that he sang to her. So I thought that was pretty cool. Zepp did a little country with Hot Dog. Yeah. Yeah, Zeppelin gave a little bit of everything. And we're huge Zeppelin fans. Most of the 80s rock guys are. I don't know. I don't know any 80s rock guys that don't like Zeppelin. That would be weird. Jay Lead, how to handle some biz, Eric? What do you think about me buying 1 month subscription for each of for each of 2 followers? Well, whatever you guys do, I appreciate, man. I mean, it all goes to the fund. I mean, obviously, I don't even have 2,000 subscribers, so I'm not making big money on this channel. I probably make a little over $200 so far, and it pays like you pay for StreamYard, you pay for the CapCut and Canva and these apps you got to use to make your thumbnails. How to buy the new computer, paying $100 a month on that for the next year. So the people that donate, it's not going to my party fund. I mean, well, except Spicoli's money, of course, but that has to go to the weed fund. But all the rest of it that is designated just to pay for the show and keep it going, so we can Fright Bite on Tuesdays, have hangouts on Fridays, and I could keep doing not just tour vlogs for Pearcy, but I know Pump 5. Steve, the singer, wants to. I told him, like, do you want to like do some live stuff and come on the show, and I'll do a vlog for that. I should mention this. The show that we're supposed to play in Colorado isn't happening, and it's super sad. The guy that runs the venue, I wanted to have you guys send some prayers out to him, and I'm sorry I don't have the guy's name, but it's the dude that runs the Wild Goose Saloon in Parker, Colorado. He's been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, which is scary, dude. It's one thing to have cancer. It's one thing to diagnose you're already stage 4. And, he just financially with this illness, he got behind, and the place is just, they closed its doors. So that show I'm supposed to do next week is not happening. But we will be going out with Texas Hippie Coalition on April 9th at Knuckleheads in Kansas City, Missouri. The 10th at the Cotillion in Wichita. And on 4/11, we're playing the local hotel in Kansas with Bo and the Beards. So I'm just getting out there, and then the Pearcy shows start out. So you'll see me out. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. Was Jason hooking up with fans at the meet and greets? I don't know what he was doing, man. What he was doing has nothing to do with us. What up, T-Cuz? Hail and kill. Hey, Eric from the Warpaw Show 60. He also likes to 69. Hey, Eric, who is playing guitar with you now? Bloss is still on drums, right? Are you playing with Warren on some shows? P.S. Would you be down to doing an interview on my channel anytime, man? Hit me up on Facebook or something. I know I'm an old guy. I'm happy with Facebook. I know everybody's trying to be cool and get all the new. I do have an Instagram. I started like about 2 years ago, but hit me up on Instagram or on Facebook, and I'll come do your podcast. Absolutely. As far as that's going to be a surprise. I can tell you it's somebody taller than Johnny Monaco. I can tell you that he's better than him, and I can tell you that he's a lot more humble. And yeah, that's it. Skylar, Skid Row needs to reunite with Sebastian. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen, guys. What do you guys think of the the tryouts. I know there's a lot of tryout videos. I kind of sworn I saw a couple people I know trying out for that. I'm a little out of the loop on that. Have you guys seen any videos from somebody we should go check out that you think is a contender? Mr. Scary, JG is like QVC trying to swindle senior citizens. Absolutely. He's a predator. 90s Cruise did go out of Tampa. Well, either way, man, he didn't pay to go there. He was doing it on somebody else's dime. Ace Frehley people weren't happy with Jason video and him having trouble with the heat. No, they weren't liking that one bit, and they weren't liking him announcing his death. You know, it's scary to have somebody a liability like that with you, that you don't know what they're doing or saying, or what kind of trouble they could cause you down the road. And I don't like I said, I'm the youngest guy in the band, and the rest of the band are more not. I think, I don't know if Bloss is always from Vegas, but the rest of the guys are like California guys. Like, I'm originally from Jersey, so like being born from Jersey, my mom was a Jersey girl, so like you can't fuck with me. You know what I mean? Like, I'll see through that shit, and he never was, his bullshit just never worked on me for that exact reason. Let me see. Glad you had the guts to come forward with the truth. Well, you speak the truth. You don't have to worry about shit. I wouldn't make up lies about somebody. Of course, I have a shit ton of evidence to prove it. Hard Rock and Trivia Show. Looking forward to hearing the project. Yeah, there's a cool video. I love the project song that I got to play a guitar solo on. It's called Death of Me. So if you go on YouTube, look up the project Death of Me, you will love that song. The hair metal guru loves that song, and everybody loves it. Dennis Hill sings on that one. But we have we have all kinds of cool stuff we're going to be doing in the project, and Pump 5. I'm going to be doing all kinds of music, guys, with everybody. Let me see here. For the party fun, this is the Trish. I got to put up her thing. Oh, that's super sweet. Thank you very much. That also helps the kitties food. But yeah, no, I do. I'm not a trust fund kid. I'm somebody who actually has to cough up rent here in San Diego. And no matter where you live in San Diego, it's expensive, man. It's like $2,000 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment, or just to rent a room anymore. Amber, Fright Bite is fun. Yeah, anybody saying anything about the Fright Bite is just a hateful idiot. Jimmy Colwood, are you a QAnon? No, I'm not. I don't subscribe to any of that crap. I don't trust anybody or anything or whatever. No, don't pigeonhole me. I'm not blue or red. I'm green for weed. No, DeMartini is one of the best of all time. Seriously. Yeah, those are, Warren is one of the best of all times. He's one of our childhood heroes, and I did nothing but respect for the guy, and grateful that for the music that he wrote with Steven that allowed me to have a kind of side living, out to kind of see what it would have been like to be a rock star. Well, I'm not a rock star, but I get to play with Steven. Like these bands, like, I don't say, oh, Quiet Riot opens for me. No, they're opening for Steven. You know what I mean? I'm just fortunate enough to play in their band, and I love playing with those bands. I love when we play with Quiet Riot. I love when we play with Slaughter. I love when we play with Bret Michaels. I love all those guys. LA Guns, you name it. We're playing with Sebastian Bach coming up. Or actually, one of the next shows is LA Guns, and it's going to be a kick-ass show. Jay Lee, super sticker. Thank you, sir. Kazam, I remember watching one of his videos when he was shit-talking Ted Nugent almost the entire video. Yeah. I mean, Ted Nugent's a friend of the band. Night Ranger is our bros of ours. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want that. We don't want somebody repping us that's talking shit about our people. We just don't. And also, not to say more than I need to, but there were some people coming after me like I'm the one who fired Johnny or I was jealous of Johnny. I was not the person that fired Johnny. It would surprise you who was the person that fired Johnny, because it was Jason's golden boy, the only guy that he doesn't shit talk. We want to take a guess who that was? Maybe somebody who played in a band with the person that was getting mocked. Maybe someone that's like, fuck this guy. I'm tired of his shit talking. I'm tired of what he says about you. I'm tired of what he's saying about this, and he's got to go. And that guy who said it was one of the most professional people I've ever played with in my life. But get the story straight. I had nothing to do with him getting fired. Nothing to do with it. I was just keeping my head down. That's my friend Chris. Is it Chris Aiken? Chris Aiken's he's not everyone's friend, but he's a lot of people's friend. Tim Noble, the guy thinks he's big time. What a joke. No, big time. Who's big time? Big Time Entertainment. BIGG. Sullivan Big. Look at his roster. Look at all the 80s bands that you love. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to tell you who's on his roster right now, just to give Sullivan some props in case you guys are promoters or something like that and you're thinking about doing an 80s deal. Let me see. Bigtime.com. God, I don't want to take too much time here. Come on, Sullivan. What do you have? Oh, no, it's BTE is what he puts it under. That's right. BTE Entertainment. .com. Yes, it's bteentertainment.com, and I'm gonna go right now and start naming some bands. Okay, it's pretty dope. Sullivan has Slaughter, he has Vince Neil, he has Queensryche, his newest roster guy is Sebastian Bach, and he's booked Sebastian like solid for the rest of the year. We got Great White, Quiet Riot, Striper, Our Girls and Vixen. We got Mike Tramp of White Lion, who will be playing on one of the shows that we're doing. We got Steven Adler. We got my friends that play in Aldo Nova. I love Aldo Nova. Monkey on Your Back was my jam, dude. I love that song. Doro, awesome woman, incredible singer. Trickster, Michael Sweet's doing solo shows. Black and Blue, Burning Witches. Rest in peace, Ace Frehley. Kix is finished, but these are bands that he did book. Taiketo. I didn't know Taiketo, really. I've heard of the band. I've always heard of them. When I was on the Monsters of Rock cruise, I don't know what the singer's name is, but dude, that guy can wail. That singer for Taiketo, he was like the daytime entertainment, and I was like blown away by this dude's voice. It was he has an awesome voice. Simon Daniels is there. What band is this? Oh, Madam X, Dizzy Reed, and Hookers and Blow. Also, he does booking for Tough, Don Jameson, Vane, Cold Sweat, The Iron Maidens, and Paradise Kitty. I hope I didn't miss anyone. If you are on the roster, and I did, please say it in the chat. But the success of the bands has all to do with Sullivan. Okay, he's the guy working to keep the reputation of these bands up and to keep the rock coming to your town. So I want to make sure you guys understand who was actually responsible for Steven's successful shows and whatnot. Spicoli, THC is cool. Texas Hippie Coalition. Yeah. If you like Texas Hippie Coalition, you'll probably like that band I was talking about that I was in the late 90s, 13A. Like, if we didn't break up, we would have been Texas Hippie Coalition. No shit. Like, go look up No Digital, No Machine, 13A, and tell me that we wouldn't have been the next Texas Hippie Coalition, because we would have. Scott Skojo, see you in Wichita. Right on. Ed Reed? Have him check out Immune Mushrooms. Has cured cancer for 30 years in Japan. That is cool. I'm into that, man, because I think, you guys might not know this, but I just lost my stepdad in December, right before Christmas, from cancer. He just, he was older and he had a lot of issues and stuff going on, but it was really fast. But, you get to an age where it's like doing chemotherapy will kill you. You're just too old and weak for it. And then you got to consider trying some other methods. And I have a friend, Martin, who's saved, like, I think he's up to like over 25 people that he saved with this like concoction, that he has. And it is like an ivermectin-ish concoction, and it has some like methylene blue, and it requires like, I mean, there's specific regimen that he's developed. And it also involves, one of the biggest aspects is fasting. That must reset the body in some way, but he cured his prostate cancer. I know with men, prostate cancer is very common. So I mean, I'm impressed with what he's doing for people. And if anybody's interested in that, I could connect you with him if you have a family member that you don't think is going to survive some kind of like old school cancer chemo bullshit. But I don't know much about immune mushrooms. We got to be careful on YouTube with like medical information. These are alleged, cures, but whatever they're doing is just they've been doing this chemo thing for like way too long. I mean, they're suppressing cures. There's no money in the cure, guys, and that's that. My super carrot Marsh at 250 watching. You're talking us to unleash, taking us to Unleash Church tonight. Aldo Nova is great. Yeah. Amber, Bloss seems like an awesome person, as does Matt and Erik. Pearcy has good people around him. They are such good people. I did say that the other night. They asked me about drummers, and because I've got to play with some amazing drummers in the Stephen Pearcy band, and I named all different ones. Greg D'Angelo came up from White Lion. He's a very famous drummer. White Lion was an awesome band. Scott Coogan, who you guys just most recently seen with Ace, and I played with them. Of course, over the years. We had Jimmy Deanda, and I loved the Bullet Boys. Growing up. So it's been an honor, to play with these guys. A fucking honor. And Bloss Elias probably the latest. Now, as far as taking credit for Bloss Elias, any band that's looking for somebody, where to go. It's all these guys, when they're off the road, go play in the Vegas, rock tribute type things, and they just get taken when they're off the road. They all go in there. Everybody takes from that same pool. We would have figured it out. You know what I mean? So come on. But Bloss Elias, definitely the most professional guy I've ever played with. Just he's just all business. He is all business. You will never hear that guy, saying things about people. He's a winner. He's a winner, like a quarterback on a football team or something like that. It's just not his style to, he knows how to just be a pro, and drums are his life. What he does in that the Trans-Siberian Orchestra is pretty incredible. The amount of pressure that he has to, like, I don't know if I could put my heart into doing a performance like that. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I have to like be totally into the music. I have to, like, to play all that classical and all that, it's really involved. I mean, this guy trains like all year to do his performances, and you have to give him credit for that. I mean, that Trans-Siberian Orchestra gig is not easy. And it's a very important gig with a lot of responsibilities. I mean, they have like backups for the backups of people on that. So that's been pretty cool. But I've also played with Bobby Blotzer, and I've played with Warren DeMartini, and I've got to jam with these guys, and it's been a really awesome life. And I'm not a jealous person. I'm okay. I will get by. I'm a creative person, and I will continue to just put stuff out there. It's just weird that every time I go and start doing things, Steven pulls me back in. And as long as he does that, I love it. And I love him so, so much. I will protect Steven till the day I die and look out for his best interests. Diamond Eric, are you ever going to release Night Flight with the vocals? Dude, that song's great with the vocals. I think Steven messed up and like just put the wrong version up there. But there is a version with the vocals. I don't know why he put the wrong one up, but there is. I did want to put that on the new record and like kind of redo it, because that was just like when I give Steven musical compositions for like ideas, that's an example of that. Like that Night Flight that he accidentally put up on there, that's like, here, Steven, what do you think of this idea? Like when I give him something, it's usually the whole song with like the solo intro and all that kind of stuff. Tony Jones, $10. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Spicoli, I don't trust anyone or anything too, dude. I know, man. Yeah, Johnny Potter. I'm gonna check out Pump Five after this. They have a whole YouTube Pump Five. They're awesome. Like any Pump Five song you listen to, it's gonna sound like it's from a famous band. Like I don't know how it's a lot of luck involved in the music business, but most importantly, it's like all who you know. There's a lot of that, and I'm not sure why. I feel like they are a national act, though. Don't get me wrong. These guys, they're their own label and stuff right now, but they go out and they play. Like, as you know, I'm going out with them to do these shows, but their music's great. He's an incredible singer. I think. I really respect him as a vocalist. Diamond, will Steven ever send me an angel again? It was excellent. That was cool. That was Mark Zavon helped him do that. Do you guys know who Mark Zavon is, the guitar player? I think he helped do that with Steven, and it sounded really cool. I like when Steven does like 80s pop covers. Most recently we did Duran Duran, Girls on Film. And then that one I recorded. Matt did the bass, of course, and I think he swapped the MIDI drums out, but that's came out pretty badass. So check that out. What the F kind of tour manager doesn't drive? Our ex tour manager. Let me see. Johnny was mad about the side of the stage he was on. What were we going to do? Give him the entire stage left so he could just stand there? No. He got his way, but when you come into a new job somewhere and you're going to start making demands, it's like, dude, this is the best gig you've ever been given in your entire life, paying you the most money you've ever made in your entire life. Shut the fuck up and play whatever we tell you. You don't tell us what you're playing. Spicoli, 80s rock music rules. Yes, it does. Roger J, maybe JG should practice bass instead of... He can't play the bass. That's what's so ironic here. This guy telling people what he thinks of my playing who can't even play a musical instrument. It's always those kind of people too that are the armchair quarterbacks, right? Tony Jones, have you ever met Brad Arnold? And do you like Three Doors Down? Grew up with all Three Doors Down here in the South Mississippi. You know what? It hurt me to see him pass away because, I only know him as the songs he's had on the radio. When Kryptonite came out, I was like, this song makes me feel something. And it wasn't because it didn't have sweet picking guitar arpeggios in it. You know what I mean? It was just a good song that had vibe and feeling, and you felt like you could just, hear the emotion that Brad was conveying. And anytime I've seen him talk, he just seemed like such a humble guy and a family guy and liked animals and, had like a farm and was always wishing the best for his fans and blessing them. Another guy who wanted to see the best for everyone and just seemed super humble. And when I see somebody like that get taken away from cancer or something like that, it hurts me to see that. And I wish him, I rest in peace, and I feel really bad for the fans of the band. And the band members, of course. Jay Lee, Chris Aiken, Hail and Kill. I got to get Chris Aiken back on on a Friday night here when he's not too busy, because everybody was stoked when he came on the show. Aldo Nova's band is killer. They are. Jack Frost, Dario. I know Dario, the bass player. I don't know who's playing drums, but those guys are my friends. Zachary Tacker, Sullivan Big resurrected Kicks. He deserves respect. I love Sullivan. Sully is so cool. And who's become a fan of mine is his wife Tina. She's like, because on one of the road vlogs, we played Palm Springs, and Sullivan invited me to their Christmas party along with Quiet Riot. It's some bands from the roster that lived locally and were able to make it. And Tina and Sullivan have this hairless cat named Dottie that's like super cute and sweet, and they dress her in all these like outfits and stuff. And I think she has her own Dottie Instagram as well. But Yeah. Anyways, I put Dottie the cat on the cover of the thing, and she thought that was like I won her over with that. So she's like on my Facebook now, and she likes my posts and everything. But I had to take time out because I feel like Sullivan. I mean, he's a very successful man by all means, but I mean, I feel like everybody on his roster should be singing his praises like at all times. Spicoli Pearcy is keeping rock alive, dude, and we appreciate him. Dude, he's gonna be 70 years old, guys. I mean, my grandfather lived to 72 and he did not look like Steven. I mean, my grandfather had like one lung, 10 heart attacks. He smoked like 5 packs a day, no teeth, no hair. So, I mean, for Pearson to go out and you still recognize him as the guy from the 80s is pretty freaking cool. And it should just be a big celebration and party. Are you playing the next shows? Stephen Pearcy, Fat Metalhead wants to. Yes, I am. And I am so ready to just go off on those shows, man. I'm just can't wait. Lifelong smoker here, Johnny Ponder. Yeah, you're talking about smoking weed. I did smoke cigarettes for like 20 years, and I quit. Sorry for your loss, Eric. Yes, it was a bummer. Carlos was a good dude, and my mom's sad. It's like she had been with Carlos for so long, and like you guys know this. I'm sure you're around my age, like and your parents get older, and like now all of a sudden you have to like keep an eye on your mom. It's usually the mom usually lives longer in most cases, but like I gotta like check in on my mom's now. You know what I mean? I did go and see her. I'm doing this new thing where I take my mom out to lunch now, which I never, like your parents pay for everything like your whole life. And I'm like, you know what? Like something came over me. I'm like, I'm paying for my mom now. No, 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 no. I'm taking my mom and take her with whatever restaurant she wants to go to, And then I took her back and I cleaned. I did yard work for her. I'm like, that's gonna be my thing. I'm just gonna like show up there once a week and just like clean her yard and do her dishes and just make sure her house is like whatever. I want to make sure everything's cool with her, and you guys are probably doing the same thing. What am I seeing here? Somebody asked me something, and I was gonna read it. Oh, okay, yeah. Hey Eric, who played the drive solo? Are you talking about on the new song? Do you guys know the band Gunshine? There's a brilliant young guitarist named Austin Ingram, and these couple songs are Steven's. So he wants this record to be special. He wants to have all these kind of cool people that he likes and respects on there, and Austin's like a killer guitar player, man. He's a lethal lefty. And he's cool, man. He's like Slash on steroids or something. You know what I mean? Like, and he did a pretty ripping solo on that. I do play like you will hear like at least my rhythms on Steven's songs. I don't know if I'm gonna play a lead on any of his, but I play most of the leads on like my songs and stuff on the record. But yeah, Austin Ingram, check out Gunshine, Gunshine on YouTube and give him a follow and tell him that you liked his solo, and we're stoked. It's funny. I when we played with them, I went up to him and I gave him the nod. You know what I mean? I go, come on, it's gonna happen for you, man. It's gonna happen. I like those dudes. They're good. They're good dudes. And I feel like that generation of guitar players that right now at like 25, the guys that are in like mid to late 20s are so humble and super freaking talented, because these are like the guitar players that grew up with YouTube, and they had like, for me it was hard to even get a lesson when you were a kid. Like we had Guitar for the Practicing Musician magazine that had some tab in it, and if it was a song you wanted, good, but most of the time it was like it was like an Eric Clapton song and whatever. It would be like a weird mix of stuff, and I just I'm envious that the kids have. I mean, but you know what? I have it now too, so I can use it just like they do. But as far as always having it in their life, they're very talented. Like the talent from these kids is amazing. But one thing I wanted to note is just how humble they come off compared to like the guitar players I remember growing up with. They were just all cocky and who could outdo the other guy. And I mean, I feel like this generation is just different for some reason. They don't act like that. They just throw down and just do it, and they're all about being in a band and treat each other right. Let me see. Amber, I missed what he said about Dahlia. I don't even want to repeat what he said. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. And he's just a jealous little man. He wishes he was doing something like the Fright Bite. Because oddly enough, the first WST live I watched in a long time was one with Johnny. I'm not to take away that Johnny can be a funny guy and he can be a talented guy and he can do all the Beatles songs and that. I'm not trying to take away from that. I never did. I always praised him for that, but God damn it, you would have been a lot cooler, man. If you built people up and didn't try to tear people down and make yourself seem better, you would have been so much fucking cooler. Let me see. Amber, but oh well, Dahlia seems like an awesome person. She is. And I have a feeling the show's gonna take off because even though you get your haters and stuff that don't know what to think and they just want to hate me or her or whatever, I know people that are actually in Hollywood that make movies and produce stuff and they're watching it. Like they see something there. And my goal is to actually make a shitty Tubi movie that goes on Tubi that we actually get some money from or something. I think that would be cool. Scott Coogan was a killer in band with Vinnie Moore and Kelly Keeling called Red Zone Rider. Who called me today? Scott Coogan. Scott Coogan called me up just to catch up. And, of course, it was the first time that I wished my condolences to him with Ace because I just figured so many people were like bombarding him. It's like give the guy a minute to mourn, and you could tell that he loved Ace so much. Scott loved Ace Frehley, and that had to be a part of him that died, with Ace, super sad. But I'm stoked that we have, all the Ace memories and videos and albums and all that. But he called. Scott's the guy who plays on View to a Thrill. That's all the drums on View to a Thrill are Scott Coogan. So he heard we were doing a record, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure there's something." I mean, we've had Bloss playing so far. We've had Will Hunt, who's now in Godsmack, play. So of course, I got to have Scott Coogan come in and do work on something too. This is almost like an all-star effort, going on Pearcy's record. So, Ratt. 1988. I knew Jason was a phony when I asked him if he liked the Lost Boys, and he said, "Hell no." Love the Lost Boys. Will always be one of my favorite movies, and I'm gonna prove it to you right now.
Maggots, Michael. You're eating maggots. How do they taste?
How does fucking maggots taste now? Right? Some David Lee Roth, bro. Got your David Lee Roth right here. Okay. Eric, did you ever meet Buckethead? No, I have not, but he's super cool and awesome. And man, he's totally kept to his whole Buckethead thing all these years. But he's one of those incredible guitarists. Like, you almost have to have the fingers for such things. You can tell that Buckethead just has those crazy long fingers where he can hit those crazy licks. Paul Gilbert's like that too. He's got some really long finger. I just got regular dude hands, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to be like a super nut on the guitar, but I could throw down, you know what I mean? I got my legato style stuff I do, and I love playing bluesy shit, and just I like my favorite guitar player in those molding years of a child, hearing, feeling music is Neil Schon. People like guitar players like him that had attitude, but were so melodic and just sang with their solos, you know what I mean? And he, Neil Schon can play some fast stuff without a doubt. I mean, he can really, but I would like to model myself after somebody like that, or like a Steve Lukather or some, you know what I mean? To me, those guys are the geniuses that, I would want to model myself after, you know what I mean? There's 9-year-old Japanese girls that can do the sweep picking arpeggio things better than most people. You know what I mean? Like children can play that, you know what I mean? It's like, you have to live to actually feel something and create a song for people that they relate to and all that. You know who's cool? Jason McMaster. He is very cool. Broken Teeth. Jason is McMaster has always been super nice to me whenever I met him. His whole band's super cool, and those are great peeps right there. Jay Lee, speaking of Dahlia, if you're watching, where's my poster? Yeah, so Dahlia, she has the email. It's frightbite@gmail.com, and she's gonna check that. She's gonna give me the addresses of people. So Dahlia, I know Jeff here sent in his thing to you, and he is Jay Lee, and it is get his address and get it to me because I have all the shipping tubes. Praising Scott Coogan's backup vocal ability. Comment: JG called me an idiot. Well, that's unfortunate. He does not represent our band. That's all I can say. He's just a distant memory, guys, or soon to be. JC, how about when on the tour videos Jason should Ace have a heat stroke? No class. No, he's got no. Nope. The distortion. Hey Eric, once the new Pearcy album drops, you have to do a full out Canadian tour. Oh man, it would be so great. It's funny they show us the demographics, for the creators on YouTube, and I have like a pretty strong Canadian, percentage of people here that watch the show. So I'm so happy to have you guys. Canadian people are awesome. Canadians, Canucks. And thank you for being here tonight. And I would love to come back there and just go across the whole thing again. We did that in like 2003, and I had such an amazing time. I just feel like we've done a couple. Our last thing we did was go to like Niagara Falls or whatever. But I want to do like a legit tour of Canada again. John Evans saw a great video featuring Jason Becker yesterday. Awesome guitar, and his illness is tragic. Yeah. God damn it, he was robbed. He was so good. And some of the songs he was working on with Roth were killer, and it's amazing. I mean, obviously he has a strong connection to his fans, that keeps him communicating with them and pushing forward. I mean, I'm impressed by it. I don't know if I was in that situation. I mean, I might have to give the code word to bring me some dangerous drugs to kill me, because I can't. It's quality of life for me, man. I've lived enough to where I don't want to live a bad quality life. I could check out and be all right. Hope you're doing well, Scotty Coo. And that, yeah, Scotty. Everybody loves Scotty Coogan. Come on, him and me have some crazy times. Those days are over. Like all the crazy times, eventually you got to just grow up for your own health, and survival. Like any of the people that are the pros that are in these 80s bands, none of those guys party anymore. Maybe we'll have a glass of wine after a show or something, but those party days are over. Usually by like your 40s, you're like kind of starting to mellow out. Definitely by your 50s. Thomas Bailey, good Friday evening. Eric, get lit, brother. Yeah, I'll be getting lit tonight. Hope all's well, Scotty Coogan. He would be a great guest. He would, I wouldn't mind. I'll run it past him. I don't know if he does that kind of stuff, but he would be a good hang. I mean, Scott's had an interesting career, and I'll ask him. You know what I mean? He did call me today, and we did talk, and I will mention to him that you guys asked about him. That I had about 5 or 6 people asking, because I would like to hear about. Who's some cool people? Who's the Ice? Vanilla Ice. He played in Vanilla Ice's band. He of course played in Brides of Destruction with Nikki and Tracy. He of course played with Pearcy and Ace Frehley and Lita Ford. I mean, he's probably got all kinds of cool stories. So, it was Shattered Wine. What, I gotta donate to get a question? No, I'm like, did you tell him, like, literally going, but did I miss you? Did I miss a question, sir? Ask it again. Put the question on again. I'll try to grab it before I go. I wasn't intentionally trying to skip you. Jeez, I've only read, like 100 questions tonight. I only got, well, damn, is there that many? Is this a world record super chat for me tonight? That I can't miss if you guys do it. Okay, let me see. Skojo, the last show in September was perfect example of Jason's bullschmutz. Sorry, Skojo. That's that. You will never be treated like that again. The project. Okay, I was just making sure I got everybody. Steven Talk Rat and type. What, did I read this one yet? Oh yeah, I did read this one. Yeah, he was just he was gatekeeping. He didn't want anyone else to have a podcast. He didn't want Steven going on anybody else's podcast. I never in the 3 years I did Chris Aiken Presents, I never once had Steven come on the show, and I knew it was just because I didn't want any trouble from Jason. Isn't that sad? I've known Steven for 40 years, never had him on the show once. I've never had him on this show. I wanted to kind of make it on my own in a way, you know what I mean? But let me see. Thomas Bailey, California. Us use a right. It's what do you say? A right to die state, if I'm not mistaken. But Jack Kevorkian is dead, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, Fred Prince died 10 years ago. Oh man, that was an awful loss. Fireball. Yeah, I know. It used to be Fireball Friday for a while. Thomas Bailey. Buzzing Frets. I've been a huge Sugar Smack fan since the first appearance on Cap. Thank you. Yes, Sugar Smack. He wasn't able to be banished. He's back. He made Cracula have to drink something or eat. He had to eat this toxic waste. He had to eat this poo-poo toxic human food waste. He didn't solve the riddle, but I'm always stoked when you guys like the Fright Bite stuff. Saw Coogan play for Eric Martin. I was hanging out with Evan Dando. I didn't even know he played for Eric Martin. See, there's all kinds of stuff we could ask him if he does come on. Let me see. 1 August. How many songs do you guys have to be ready for? Does the set list change much during a tour? The time where we had to I felt like we had the shortest amount of time to learn the most songs was in 2024 when Steven decided to do the Out of the Cellar record in its entirety. Even though it would have been a no-brainer that you would think somebody in Steven's band would learn every song off it. I have other things going on in my life. I never learned half the songs on the record, and I had to learn those, and there was only 2 weeks to do it. That was also when the transition happened where Johnny went over to lead guitar. He knew a lot of those already of the Out of the Cellar solos, and it was I had those guys just harassing me all the time. And honestly, whatever the band wants, I'm going to do. I'm not an egomaniac. I just want to make sure if somebody's going to go take over the left side of the stage that they're actually putting on a show and utilizing that stage. I think it would look weird to have all these people shoved on one side and then one guy's just standing there looking at his shoes on the other side. I want somebody who's got you look at Warren on stage. Warren is all over the place. Did you notice that? Let me see here. Scuff, join tonight. Every time I met you, you've been cool and real, even when super busy. Oh, yeah, There's no reason. My life's good, man. I mean, if you guys catch me in a bad mood, somebody must have really wronged me. Because I'm usually just a stony, cool dude. So who's the dude replacing the last dude? You know what? It's not, you are not going to be disappointed by any stretch. And it's going to be super awesome, but I want judgment reserved. I just want to go, here we are, and show you guys video from the show and just go, okay. And you're going to dig it. You are not going to be let down. I promise. But I don't like people coming to their conclusions or talking shit beforehand or whatever. Thomas Bailey, you were 100% right. Jason fancies himself of Howard Stern. Even that is a joke. Howard Stern, who had, a 50-year career in radio, and this jabroni's going to walk in and proclaim himself the king of all media within 5 years was just laughable. Kyle Pokey, speaking of old fart guitar guys, Rick Springfield, 76 and still rocking. Yeah, I've got to play on the bill with Rick Springfield, and I've met him before, and he is a great performer and still could throw down and play those songs. And Jesse's Girl was such a phenomenon, that hit when it came out. It was damn, that is a radio hit. Man, he must have just been crushing the poon, right? Back then, being on General Hospital and like he was like super stud in like 1980 or whatever that was. The Bojo, you're doing great amongst all this nonsense, but your former ex-manager, yeah, no, he's not in a good. He's donezo. He is fucking donezo. Fat Metalhead, rest in peace, Joe Benson from KLOS. No, really? Oh no, that sucks. I didn't know that. Yeah, I love KLOS, and oh man, that's sad news. Rest in peace. Shatterwind. What's your favorite punk band? Name three names of punk bands. I don't know. I'm not. I wouldn't say that I was like, into like all the obscure punk bands. I mean, sure, I like Misfits and Sex Pistols and stuff like that. But like, as far as like, the thing with punk music growing up, it's like I didn't think the guitar was good enough. Like it just didn't. I like the 80s rock stuff because it was just more challenging and more going on with it. I like the attitude of punk rock, but I've also mentioned this, like, after like being as old as I am, like stuff grows on me though too. Like now when I hear punk rock, my ears like it more than it did when I remember being a teenager and I'd hear it. Like, bands like the Sex Pistols had like really good production on their songs, but most of the punk bands had really shit production. Like it just sounded like shit, and it bothered me. I'm like, why does it sound so shitty? But now I kind of get it, and I know what they're going for, and it is like punk rock to not do the big production, to have it, whatever. I don't know. I'm talking too much. Hi Eric, loving the channel. I'm a huge Ronnie James Dio fan. Do you have a favorite song or album from Ronnie? Well, yeah. I mean, I'm probably just gonna have to go with Holy Diver record. I mean, the sad thing is I didn't have a lot of money as a kid to like buy records. Like today, it's like $10 a month. You can have every record that ever existed, or there's YouTube. Like back then, it was either I had what was on the radio, or I had to tape it. I taped it off the radio, or I taped it off MTV, or I videotaped a Headbangers Ball, and that was my whatever. That's how I got my music. And for me to buy the record, the band had to be very special to me for some reason. Like I bought all the Van Halen records because I loved Eddie. I bought all the Dokken records because I loved George. Who, what other ones? But yeah, I don't know if there's any other records I remember buying. I bought some of the Iron Maiden ones and stuff, but it was expensive back then to like buy a record as a kid, especially when you're under less than not even working age yet. And then by the time I was 15, I started playing music and guitar, and like there goes that money. So I didn't really have the money to buy all that stuff. Thomas, this girl, yeah, Dahlia's light years beyond her, even though she doesn't get much sunlight. Well, I think we're trying to figure out what's up. Like, Dahlia's like a half vampire of Dr. Von Brain scans that's been in the lab since she was a child. So we're kind of getting the story as it's unraveling. Daddy Goss, Sum 41, Simple Plan, and Good Charlotte. Yeah, those are all like, post punk, I guess, or, pop punk. I figured the question was asking me about like actual real punk stuff. I feel like I kind of have a punk attitude in life, and people assumed I was all punk, but no, I mean I'm a rock guy. I've always been a rock guy, but then again, I was like an industrial guy too. I mean, I loved Nine Inch Nails and stuff, and there's a lot of '90s bands I loved. I'm not like one of these guys that hated Nirvana and though I loved Nirvana. I was 18 years old with it. Why would I not love Nirvana when they came out? It was the guys that were like maybe 10 or 20 years older than me that were like, oh shit, our career's over. But I didn't feel that way. I loved it all. It was funny. Last night I put on the movie Singles. Remember the movie Singles with Matt Dillon and Kira Sedgwick, which was a weird casting in that. But she's a beautiful woman. But I thought she was cast a little weird in it. And the movie's terrible. To be honest, I don't even get it, but man, there's some good songs in there. All those '90s songs are killer, and it has the most sick like Alice in Chains part of the movie where they're playing. It's like, man, Alice in Chains was such a bad motherfucker. That band was so good when they came out. Um, who's this Jason? Don't worry about it, Bojo. Don't you worry. It's just a dude that ain't around anymore. Thomas, there was a song on Working Class Dog album that rocked. Can't remember. Think it was Affair of the Heart by Rick Springfield. It was a long time ago. It was like 12. Yeah. I just loved early MTV was just cool, just how eclectic it was, you know. The thing that we don't really need an MTV now with YouTube and all these things, but we kind of do need somebody to tell us what's cool, right? I mean, otherwise you're not going to know. It's like so much to filter through. I think in the chat, that's something that we could all contribute to on Fridays. If we hear some band that we think is cool that people might not be aware of, to share a link to it so the rest of us can check it out and see what's happening that we weren't aware of. Jimmy. Oh, the concert last night was great. Pearcy DeMartini, Sebastian, and Slaughter were awesome. Steven signed everything at the meet and greet. Showed him a pic of him and Chris Hagar. He almost teared up. Yeah, that was a super bummer. Well, Jimmy Jam, I'm glad you got to see it. That's awesome to hear. I want to make sure Steven's kicking ass, and that's great. Gigi Allen and the Murder Junkies. Yeah, he's a character, right? But I can't say his music didn't speak to me. But again, like, I don't judge people. You guys love it all, man. Turn it up. Ratt. I like the movie Lost Boys, but I meant the band fronted by the legend Randy O. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I guess you're gonna get bummed at me that Jason thought it was funny to shit on. I don't know. I'll check out the band. I will check out the Lost Boys band. Los Lobos? No. Then in person he acted like I liked him because Sean Clark did or something. Oh, okay. Yeah. Alrighty. Okay, when you made the comment earlier saying I'll fucking crush you, I knew you were really pissed. I go through my phases. I mean, I can't pretend, man. I gotta be myself at all times. But don't say more than I probably said more than I have to tonight, but I had to speak. I do have a voice, and you're going to hear it. Johnny Ponder, my wife is at the Ryman Auditorium seeing Aaron Lewis. He's a good singer, but I stayed home. Do you dig his stuff? When he first came out, I thought Stained was kind of cool. I've met the guitarist before. He was a nice guy. I mean, they were a big early 2000s radio band. As I said, man, I don't hate on anybody, man. He's out there making a career with his music and his voice and what have you, man. More power to him. What did John do? I kind of mentioned that earlier. He was just being completely unprofessional and just, some people they like to bring other people down and cut other people down and make themselves feel better. And that's just not good. That doesn't align with our bands, the way we rat and roll, dude. Just doesn't. Dahlia was wanting a song this past week, and I think you should play one. Yes, definitely. I was just too mad. I was too mad and upset, man. I did the best I could to put on a good show that night. Thomas Bailey, Planet Metalhead, they really did. Rest in peace. Lane Staley, they still rock. Tour a different singer. Yes, they do. They do. They're still out playing. All right. Wow, man, I really let loose tonight, guys. Man, almost 3 hours. Still got 228 people here, and normally I would go 100 hours, but this is probably the most people that I'm gonna say goodbye to tonight that we still have. But I appreciate all of you very much, and I thank you for the people that were kind to me and stuck up for me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Be cool and be kind to each other. I'll see you guys Tuesday at the Fright Bite. Yes. Thank you, guys.